mean, the movie's kind of bad, so it's okay if our cold open's bad.
You're so wrong about that. And at the end of your episode, when I was listening to the end of it on the way here, because I didn't get through it with Brie, I was so upset. So I was like, babe, that was such a good movie after I watched it.
I'm ready for you to flame BenG.
I was still like, this is a good movie. And then I got to the end of your last episode, and you're both like, you were like, you hate it. And you were in the middle, and I'm like way sky high. So I'm really excited to.
Yeah, we're all on different levels of liking this movie.
It'll be good to debate this. Unlike this movie.
I actually am an expert, and everything that I say is correct, and that's why I
Just because you spin, not twirl, spin a couple guns, that doesn't mean you're an expert on military schools.
I've got a list of things, but I'll leave them for the intro of reasons why I'm the expert on the episode.
Welcome to the DCOM Duo podcast. I'm Kelsey.
I'm BenG.
This is a DCOM Duo podcast, except we have a guest today.
That's right. Instead of the DCOM duo, we're still the DCOM duo, but with someone else making us a DCOM trio.
It's Alex.
It's me. I'm Alex.
Alex is my bestie from high school and has graciously decided to be a host for this episode in particular.
Yes, your truest and bestest friend.
Yeah, my truest and bestest friend, and it is impossible to have more than one truest bestest friend.
As a queer child of divorce who was the captain of her color guard team, I feel especially powerful right now. I know a lot, and I'm excited to be right about everything.
And I'm excited for you to be wrong, because this movie's bad. I'm not gonna bury the lead. I'm ready to debate it.
And I'm going to be the mediator. If you haven't figured it out, we're talking about Cadet Kelly this week.
I hope someone read the title before clicking onto this.
No.
Maybe they just got so excited Alex was going to be on it. They're like, I didn't even read.
Yeah, they saw my name and they knew.
What? Alex is on this week? That's crazy. Okay, before we get into Cadet Kelly, Alex, let's learn a little bit more about you. And specifically, I want to know, like, your history with DCOMs.
Okay. I feel like I'm in an interview.
Right? Yeah.
I didn't have cable as a child. So I really only watched DCOMs like when I was visiting my grandparents.
Mm-hmm.
Cadet Kelly somehow got like really on my family's radar, so this is probably my number one childhood DCOM.
Wow, more than like High School Musical.
This is my number one niche childhood DCOM.
There you go.
Let's bring it back around, because I do love High School Musical, the whole series. We owned all of the stuff. We went as Wildcats cheerleaders for Halloween.
Oh my god.
All of it. And Camp Rock 2.
Mm-hmm.
And Camp Rock 2. Which is a good movie.
Camp Rock also and Camp Rock 2 also.
But outside of like the big
franchises.
Yes, thank you. Outside of the big franchises and a couple little sideways ones that I barely remember, it's Cadet Kelly.
Cadet Kelly all the way.
Are you a big Hillary Duff fan?
No. I liked that movie where she goes to Rome.
Lizzie McGuire movie?
Sure.
That's what that one is, yeah.
And I liked the other one where she was at an art school.
Is that the like
Let It Shine?
No. It's not a DCOM. It's called like, I have it written down. It's Raise Your Voice.
Yes.
I've never seen it, but it's become like a meme. So she like stands up in the middle of her class and goes like, la, la, la. I don't think the mic is picking it up.
Yeah, no.
It just stands up and goes silent.
You've been, that was
la, 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 like Lila Crocodile. La, 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 la. That's Hillary Duff and Raise Your Voice.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that there was a scene that referenced Linkin Park, but I don't want to spoil Raise Your Voice, so I won't say what it was.
Yeah, spoilers for Raise Your Voice, which we're not going to cover because it's not a DCOM.
Right. They came here for spoilers for Cadet Kelly, not Raise Your Voice.
Give us one word describing your opinions on DCOMs as a whole.
Really thinking hard about this.
I
one.
know, because my first reaction was overrated because you talk about them so much.
Only overrated in our circle.
We know that we talk
Um,
about them way too much. They're not good movies.
They're
Let's be
not
honest
good.
about that.
I'll call them goofy.
They are goofy. That's a good word. We actually have fan mail. I forgot.
We do have fan mail.
Yeah.
I
Do
didn't
you
know
need
that.
me to find it?
I mean,
forgot
I don't
about
have
it
the
till
account
now.
pulled up right now. DCOM Duo fan mail. Please
Yeah.
write us fan mail to the DCOMduo@gmail.com.
So this fan mail should have been read in our last episode, but we recorded Stuck in the Suburbs ahead of time. Therefore, we did not read this fan mail that came after Prom Pact, which was the movie before. So, hi, Kelsey, Ben, and guest Ben. We had Ben as a guest on Prom Pact. I completed the 2.5 hour Prom Pact episode over the last few days. I listened on 1.5 times speed. I'm glad it beat the zombie series in your ranking. You three, wait, first off, this is Benji's mom. You have not seen zombies. Why are you happy it beat zombies in the ranking? Go watch zombies and then tell me how you feel again. Okay. You three were the funniest when you discussed gym in high school and sharing when you got your first A-. It felt complicated that the main actor's name was Ben. His character's name was Ben, right?
Yeah.
And you had a guest named Ben, and Ben is also a co-host. Too many Bens.
Tell me about it.
I'm okay if you invite Ben as a guest again. However, please try to match it with a movie where the main character is not named Ben. Looking forward to your next podcast on Stuck in the Suburbs. That one has already released. Please don't invite your friend Taryn or your friend Danielle to join the podcast. Your friend Ben's mom. Mom of the Ben that does the podcast, not the Ben in Prom Pact or the guest named Ben.
That's funny. Thank you, Mom.
Yeah, no, I thought that one was funny. All right, cool. Now let's go into Cadet Kelly DCOM Duo Factos. Cadet Kelly was released March 8th, 2002. It is the 36th DCOM.
That feels later to me than I always mentally think it is, because I always think of this as like one of the first huge DCOMs.
I mean, it is still early.
Yeah.
Enough. There's 115 DCOMs, right?
Or so.
For that. That was helpful for me specifically.
Yeah. It's around 115 for sure. And this was 2002. They started in like 97 or something.
I think 97.
Yeah. So, yeah. Cadet Kelly is directed by Larry Shaw. He has not done a lot. Well, he's done a lot of like TV movies, so it's stuff I've never seen before. And he's done like one episode of this and one episode of that. But he notably did one episode of Lizzie McGuire. So cool. He's worked with Hilary Duff before. And he's done 50 episodes of Desperate Housewives.
Nice.
So good for him.
He has his niche.
That really speaks to his character, I think, and not in an amazing way.
So, yeah, this was released, you said, March 8th, 2002. I find that interesting because, yeah, part of this movie, of course, takes place in New York. And that means they probably filmed in New York summer-ish of 2001.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you know this, but something happened not too long after in New York in 2001.
What?
The Twin Towers got blown up.
There's a whole decom about it that we'll cover.
Yeah, just go watch Tiger Cruise.
We're not making that up.
Okay, I'll let.
No,
I'm
this-
gonna leave my commentary about 9/11 out of this podcast.
Yeah, save it for the Tiger Cruise episode.
You don't want to be on that episode unless you want even more military propaganda.
Yeah. Okay, our cast. Our main character, Kelly Collins, is played by Hilary Duff, of course. On Disney Channel, she is best known for Lizzie McGuire, which was a show. Went on. There was also a movie, Lizzie McGuire movie, that is not a DCOM.
Yes, be clear about that. The only DCOM Hilary Duff is in
Is
this one.
Yeah.
The Lizzie McGuire movie is a Disney Channel adjacent movie because obviously it's about a show, but it was a theater movie.
Yeah. I think it was released in theaters.
Well, regardless, it was not released on Disney Channel.
Yeah, the production value is way higher than any DCOM.
Yeah.
It's like the same caliber as High School Musical 3, but we count High School Musical 3 because it's specifically a sequel.
And we are biased.
And we're biased. Okay, she was also in Cheaper by the Dozen. She was in A Cinderella Story.
As she should.
As she should. I freaking love A Cinderella
It's
Story.
such a good movie.
She's in Raise Your Voice, as we mentioned before. Apparently, she was in Gossip Girl. Okay. And nowadays, she is starring in How I Met Your Father, which is the How I Met Your Mother spin-off series that is airing on Hulu.
I've heard mixed to negative things pretty much across the board.
I watched like 4 episodes of it, and it's fine. It's not great. It's not great. Maybe I know they released like season 2. Maybe it's gotten better.
Ellie has told me she explicitly hate watches it.
Okay, yeah. Hate watch.
Hey, you did that with High School Musical, the musical, the series, so.
That's true. I definitely hate watched that. Yeah.
I think Hilary Duff's the first real Disney Channel star. You can correct me if I'm wrong about this. The first one that fits the model.
Where she had like a pop career. Oh, we should also mention her pop career. She has a song called Come Clean that I loved as a kid. It's a Let the Rain Fall Down and
Let it wash away
exactly.
my sanity.
So good. Yeah. She's a singer.
It's fine.
So is that what you mean in like kind of like big star outside of Disney a little bit?
Yeah, I think she is the model template that like Miley Cyrus followed after, that Selena Gomez followed after, that Demi Lovato followed after, that Olivia Rodrigo followed after.
Yeah.
Like that's the generic Disney Channel star like into the new era template, and she's the OG of it.
Yeah, I feel like her and Raven Simone were both the stars at the same time. Like Liz McGuire and That's So Raven were on at like the same time. So yeah, definitely early on in the like Disney Channel uprising, you know,
for our generation.
For our generation, I think just it's uprising of Disney Channel in its heyday, which was like High School Musical, Hannah Montana, whatever, that era, you know. All right, our next character, Jennifer Stone, is played by Christy Carlson Romano. She is best known for her role in Even Stevens. Even Stevens also has a movie that is a DCOM, so we will be covering that one.
I never saw Even Stevens' show.
I never really watched it either. It was kind of before my time. What about you, Alex?
Is Even Stevens the kind of incesty one?
No, that's Life with Derek.
Ah,
This is Life with Derek. That's where it was like they were step siblings, and there was also kind of a romantic plot. That one was weird. Yeah, that
I did not know about this.
Yeah.
Then no, I don't think that I watched Even Stevens.
It's the one with Shia LaBeouf.
Okay, I've known of it.
Yeah,
but I think one, I'm too young. I think we're too young for Even Stevens.
I think so too.
And 2, I didn't have cable.
Right. Christy Carlson Romano is also the voice of Kim Possible. She is Kim, and that's
I would argue that's a bigger role than Even Stevens.
Yeah, it's just her face is in Even Stevens.
Yeah.
I didn't even realize she was the voice of Kim Possible until today when I looked it up. Like, what? Also, in the live-action Kim Possible movie that released in 2019,
that is a DCOM.
Yeah, she had a cameo in that, which is fun because she was the original Kim Possible. So
is she the one that goes, "Thanks, Kim, for saving my baby"?
No,
I hope.
Well, that's the only thing I really have of note. She's done other stuff, but nothing I recognize.
Oh, I keep seeing her on TikTok because she has her own podcast called Vulnerable. And she talks about being a child actor and working with Disney. And she brings in other child actors or TikTok stars who are big right now or other Disney cast members. And she talks to them about their life and anxiety and basically just life stuff.
Nice.
Cool.
So. That's really cool. I have seen her on TikTok a little bit, specifically when she was talking about Cadet Kelly and kind of her experience with that. I don't remember all that she said, but
Christy, if you want to come, we would love to talk with you on the podcast. We can do a little cross promotion. Our 3 fans can go talk with your 10,000.
Yeah. It's beneficial for both of us, Christy. All right, Brad is played by Sean Ashmore. He's in The Rookie.
My mom's watching that right now.
Okay, I'm glad you know what it is because I don't know what that is. I just wrote it down because it was like the top of his credits.
It is a police procedural,
Oh.
but more along the lines of like 911. Like,
Mhm.
so not always super serious. And it's Nathan Fillion, who was Castle in a different crime procedural, now plays a newbie cop
Oh.
who's like middle-aged.
Gotcha.
Oh.
I feel like Nathan
Okay.
Fillion's in a fair bit of like highly rated TV, so he's a high profile TV actor. Do you know what his role is on or what Brad's role is?
No. All I know is Nathan Fillion.
Cool.
Sean Ashmore was also in 3 episodes of The Boys, so I thought that was fun. And he's also in the X-Men movies as Iceman.
But the old ones, like the two, like around the release of Cadet Kelly
Yes.
era.
Yep, which I haven't seen any of the X-Men, so I wouldn't know. But yes, he is Iceman. Cool.
I'm guessing he has some ice powers.
Probably. Carla is played by Andrea Lewis. She was in Degrassi: The Next Generation, which I never watched, but good for you, girl.
Isn't Degrassi the Next Generation the same one that Drake was on?
I don't know.
I know he was on a Degrassi
He
show.
was.
I don't know.
But that's how he like got his start in media. Now, of course, he's one of the biggest musical artists of all time.
Andrea Lewis was also in a Nickelodeon like original movie called Spectacular, which I loved as a kid.
I have never heard of that.
I am not surprised you've never heard of it. I think I'm the only person that's ever heard of it. It's about show choir.
Oh my
They're
god.
definitely trying to be a DCOM. Nickelodeon had some movies that were like, we're going to try and do the DCOM
They
thing.
dabbled in being a DCOM,
Yeah.
and then they realized they couldn't keep up.
Yeah, it's about a show choir, and there's like this rock guy who's in a rock band, and he gets like kicked out of his band, and he has to join the show choir. But they're all in high school too, and they have to do the show choir competition. I really want to rewatch it because I didn't watch it since I was a kid. But like, oh my god, shout out to Andrea Lewis for being in that movie.
Patreon episode.
Patreon episode. We'll cover some Nickelodeon shit if we ever start a Patreon.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah. Okay, Gloria Ramos.
Did they say Ramos or Ramos?
Ramos? I thought it was Ramos, but maybe it's Ramos.
Gloria.
Gloria is played by Amy Garcia. She was in Dexter, I guess, as Jamie Batista. I never watched Dexter, so that's just if you've seen Dexter and you know who that character is, that's who she is. She was in RoboCop 2014. And 20 episodes of George Lopez. So.
She was also in Lucifer.
What's that?
Lucifer is a movie. It's a police procedural. So my mom watched it. It's a movie about.
Wait, it's a movie? I thought it was a TV show.
Sorry, yes. It is a TV series where Lucifer comes back to Earth and basically follows a cop around and like falls in love with a cop.
Oh.
And
I do know about this show.
You do?
Yes.
Amy Garcia plays a forensic
scientist
in it. She's kind of like the Bones role, kind of like the Ducky / Abby role. And her name's Ella in that show.
Cool. Sir, the stepfather, Sir.
We love Sir.
He is played by Gary Cole. He is also a voice in Kim Possible. He plays the dad in Kim Possible. So we have 2 Kim Possible voices in this movie. He was in Office Space, apparently, and Dodgeball, A True Underdog Story. Didn't you watch Heart of Dixie?
I watched Heart of Dixie.
I thought so. She's in 2 episodes of Heart of Dixie. I'm sorry, Gary Cole is in 2 episodes of Heart of Dixie. He plays Dr. Ethan Hart.
Okay, so that is the main character's dead father who leaves her his medical practice.
Holy crap.
So it's probably flashbacks.
Yeah. So he's in the flashbacks of those. He's in Chicago Fire and NCIS, and he's
So,
also
good amount of TV credits.
yeah, he's also done like a ton of voice acting. He's in Family Guy as various voices. He's in Bob's Burgers as Sergeant Bosco.
Not Sergeant Bosco.
He's in Big Mouth, and recently, apparently, he was in Velma. You know, the HBO.
Oh yeah, the one that
Yeah.
everyone loves.
Yeah,
And there's
everyone-
no one dislikes that show.
Everyone loves that show.
Everyone hates that show.
Moving on, the mom in the movie is played by Linda Cash. She's in Full Court Miracle as
Hell
the
yeah.
mom, and in The Swap as Nurse Helen.
Wow, so this is her only bad DCOM.
She's in 3D comps apparently, so that's fun.
She's a DCOM queen.
Yeah, apparently she's also in Cinderella.
No Brenda
Man.
Song, but pretty good.
She's no Brenda Song, but yeah, she's also in Cinderella Man, which I think I remember liking. That's a movie I watched it in high school for
You
like
just
history
you watch
class.
any movie that has Cinderella in the title.
Yeah, right.
Can I throw back to Brenda Song?
Yeah,
Because I was screaming at you when you were talking about what's Brenda Song doing right now. I was like, I know what she's done.
what's she doing right now?
So I actually don't know what she's doing right now. I do know what she has recently done. She was in a horror movie on Netflix. I think it was a Netflix original horror movie where she lost her memory, and then it was like her husband is evil and she doesn't remember. And I can't remember the title because I didn't prepare it.
But how dare we not bring it up?
And she voice acted and she did like mocap, so the character looks like her. She was in the Dark Anthologies The Quarry, that video game. The
Oh, I
Quarry.
heard good stuff about The Quarry.
Yeah, it's good. I'm playing it right now.
Cool. Awesome. Shout out Brenda Song again.
She's the queen of DCOMs. We can
Yeah.
mention her every episode.
That's true.
We are, well, through the course of this podcast, we're going to verify it, but we believe she has been in more DCOMs than anyone else.
Yeah.
That's like
At
a
least
roll.
of like the younger people, like probably even amongst the adults too.
But we'll have to see.
We'll have to see. Yeah.
The movie was called Secret Obsession.
Next up, Kelly's dad, like her biological dad. He's played by Nigel Hamer. He was in 7 episodes of Degrassi: The Next Generation, so shout out him. He hasn't done much else.
Wasn't Drake in that show?
Finally, Amanda, who's Kelly's bestest and truest friend.
Mm-hmm.
She's played by Sarah Gadon.
Gadon.
She's in The Other Me, which is like
You're number one.
my guilty pleasure DCOM.
You don't need to feel guilty about it.
Well, it's not a good movie, but I love it so much.
Well, I'm going to say this once again. There are maybe like 5 to 10 DCOMs in existence that are actually good movies.
And Cadet Kelly is one of them. That is why we're here.
Verifiably false by anyone with eyes.
Next, you're gonna tell me that Camp Rock 2 Introducing Me isn't the best calm song.
I'm gonna defer that question over to Kelsey.
Senior rankings.
Maybe don't listen to the episode on Camp Rock 2. If this should tell you anything, we have Bae signed up for Camp Rock, and I think she would refuse to come on for Camp Rock 2 because she hates it. So, she's in The Other Me. Sorry, back to Sarah Gata. She's in The Other Me. She's like the love interest. So, hell yes. She's also some voices in Total Drama. As in Total Drama Island.
Hell yeah.
She voices Beth, Ginger, and Izzy.
I feel like Beth is one of the big
Beth
characters.
and Izzy are both big ones. I don't know who Ginger is, but yeah. She's like, does some voice acting.
I watched that years ago, and then I've only have vague memories of Total
Liked
Drama.
it as like a tween.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought it was pretty good.
And
I mean, Survivor's my favorite TV show of all time. So parody animated Survivor is going to land well for me.
Yeah. She was also a voice in The Nut Job. The squirrel
The
animated
squirrel movie.
movie. Yeah. And she was in The Amazing Spider-Man 2 as Kari, which is the artificial intelligence from Oscorp.
So she does a lot of voice acting.
Yeah. Her face was there too, though, in
Okay.
Spider-Man. She just like played an AI. So yeah. Okay, now on to the fun facts. Sean Ashmore, who plays Brad, he had to attend military school for 3 months and also took voice lessons to be able to project as a cadet major. So that's fun.
Put him through the ringer for a DCOM.
Yeah, so this was filmed at an actual like military academy. It's
That
called
makes sense.
Robert Land Academy, and this is in Canada. It was filmed in Canada. Hilary Duff was made an honorary cadet sergeant of Robert Land Academy during the production of Cadet Kelly.
Imagine the movie hasn't come out yet, and you just tell people, "Oh yeah, Hillary Duff's like general at my school."
Imagine you spent 3 months at military school just for Hillary Duff to get. Oh no.
The rifles used in the movie are not real rifles.
What? They didn't use active guns.
They're actually made out of plastic in order to make the choreography a little bit easier for the cast.
The ones that I had to use in high school were wooden with like plastic accessories.
Ooh. And finally, the patches on the cadet uniforms are actual, like, real military patches, like they're used. They're the patches used by members of the Washington National Guard, which is headquartered out of Camp Murray, Washington. So, yeah, that's it for our fun factos. Now we can go into the Disney Plus description. Are we ready?
Ready?
Let's do it.
Yay! Hilary Duff stars as Kelly Collins, an artistic, fashion-minded teen who's forced to go from flashy fab to olive drab at her new stepdad's military academy. As the clumsiest, most clueless recruit ever to botch basic training, Kelly seems to be fighting an uphill battle to fit in. But it's all out war when she butts heads with Cadet Captain Stone, Chrissy Carlson Romano, as a tough as nails, by the book commanding officers, that is in quotes, commanding officer, determined to break her spirit. See how once carefree Kelly keeps it together amidst endless rules and regulations to win Stone's respect. ... And still manages to leave her own unique mark on the school.
I mean, it's mostly accurate, but it's very exaggeratory
It's
on
so
the
long.
drama.
This is one of the longest ones they have, I feel like. It also makes it sound like, I guess this is kind of what the movie's like. Like, she's having just the worst time. And she kind of is. Does it really get resolved? Now she's like, yeah, military school is cool by the end. I guess, because she starts spinning some guns, and she's like, this is pretty fun.
When I started the movie, I wrote down Kelly takes on the military industrial complex because she goes into this school and was talking about how she has to change everything.
The whole movie is framed as her needing to change everything in the world.
She doesn't change a thing.
No, she literally does nothing to change. She changes the heart of her stepfather, and that's about it.
Yeah.
Does she though?
Yeah. He gives her a hug at the end, BenG.
She loosens his walls, I will give you, but does she change his heart? I feel like he always loved her.
Did he?
I think he did. I think that he just was not sure how to be affectionate with her.
He's
and
not
where
an
those
affectionate
borders
person,
were.
and that's what she was breaking down. If you said that was the change, I don't think his heart changed.
Also, child of divorce expert, I really appreciate him not forcing hugs on her because I
Were you forced hugs
do
on
not
her?
like it. It takes a long, long time to get comfortable with a step parent. And this movie does go over like at least 6 months because her mom's
Pregnant,
super
yeah.
Well,
pregnant.
also,
yes.
they're getting the first introduction to him is we're learning they're married. They had to have been together for some time before that.
We learned they're getting married.
Yeah, they're getting
Yeah.
married. So I wrote she's known him for like at least a year.
At
I
least.
hope
Probably
so.
more.
Although I wouldn't actually be that surprised if it's less. Like, the mom is just all over him, and I wouldn't be surprised if it's been like 3 months and they're getting married. And he's a military guy. They get married fast sometimes.
Yeah. But I just think that it is difficult to figure out boundaries in a step relationship. So
Mhm.
I did kind of like that about him.
Yeah. Let's start getting into the movie. Let's get in the nitty-gritty now. All right, so we open on New York. They're in New York. There's kids just running around with these ribbons, and Kelly's one of them. They're doing this like performance with their ribbons. And Kelly voices over and she's like, "I'm going to tell you my story."
They really drop, like, I'm gonna say drop it. They don't actually drop it, but the whole time Kelly's just saying like, "This is all the stuff I've got to do," and at the end it's like, "This was my memoir." It's like she's writing this as a book.
Yeah.
I don't know,
Yeah, I think we're supposed to know, like, oh, this is her writing her story or telling her
but we
story.
don't. It's not really explicitly written out like that until the very end, and even then, it's just like you could have just had that be internal dialogue, and that would have been fine.
I think that this opening shot does a lot to characterize Kelly, like right off the bat, because first of all, they spend a real good second on the sign for the school that says New York Middle School of the Arts. So she's in middle school,
Mhm.
which she was 15 at the time of release. So probably like 14 when
And actually,
shooting.
yeah, it did say, I didn't write it down though, like how old they're supposed to be.
I
But
think
yeah,
I think
it's around
she's
like,
14.
yeah, it's around 14.
Yeah, so that was actually not really bad considering that Brad's actor was 23 at release.
Yeah, he's
This is
supposed to
something
be.
we'll talk about when we get introduced to Brad, but I never felt comfortable about the relationships. But we'll
Yeah.
get to that.
Yeah.
Brad is supposed to be playing like a 17, 18-year-old.
Mhm.
Yeah.
We'll talk about it. But then, like, in addition to just giving us her age, her outfit tells us so much about her. She's got like the blue hair tinsel, fake hair accessories.
Yep, I literally wrote that she has blue hair.
Yeah.
Like, she's very artsy.
You ever hear the Fox News stereotype of like a liberal arts student?
Is that what Kelly is?
That is what Kelly is, and that is more explicitly what this school is. We find out much later on in the movie that their school doesn't even teach math.
Yeah.
It's your choice if you want to learn math.
Yeah, do you want to do math? No? Cool.
This school, like all they're doing is you learn yourself, and I'm surprised that's allowed, but it's a movie.
Yeah, it's interesting to say the least. As a
Yeah.
teacher, additional expert.
List off your expertise items.
Yeah, queer, child of divorce, captain of color guard, child of 2 more divorces.
Did you say teacher?
Teacher. I was getting there.
So she's like talking with her teacher after the little performance, which I believe is choreographed by Amanda, her bestest, truest friend. And Kelly decided that she's gonna make a documentary called La Familia about how family like really works because she is a child of divorce. So she like knows true family dynamics of a broken home.
We never get to see this film, by the way. It's really just a 2 scene thing, and then it's dropped.
She gets to military school.
No. That happens 6 months later.
No.
Because mom's not pregnant. Like,
No, she gets pregnant after Kelly starts military school.
Sorry. But she doesn't get married the day after being told about the wedding.
No, but she's told, like, we're gonna move. I guess that is, like, the day of the wedding. I don't know. It all happens fast.
She's told the day before the wedding, I think, that they're moving because they are at the store where the mom's trying on bridal makeup.
Yeah.
And Kelly says, "Can you just sleep on your back? Like, save the makeup
She is
for
told
tomorrow."
the day before the wedding about the move, which is the move is the next day. It's like right after the wedding. We don't know how long of a gap it is from them telling Kelly we're getting married to you're moving.
Yeah, we don't know the gap. Honestly, I believe it's like a month. I think this wedding happened so fast. I think they barely know
I'm
each
really
other.
writing a lot of like fanfic into this. How fast this relationship moves. I thought this was a slow burn.
No, I think the mom met Sir and was like, "That's it."
Well, when he walks in the door for the first time.
I know. Okay, we're gonna get there. We're gonna get there. Let's keep going. Because first we meet Kelly's biological dad. He has a video camera and then he like falls off a wall. So they establish very much this guy is clumsy. Okay. Oops.
Every scene he falls.
Oops, I fell off a cliff. Like Foreshadowing.
They do it with Kelly too, though, because when she's ribbon dancing, she like she does a spin with her friend, and then she does the worst imitation of being dizzy I've ever seen in my entire life.
Just bad acting.
She's just like spinning and falling all over the place.
Okay, so Kelly leaves with her dad and they're walking home and they're just like goofing around. They're just a couple of goofs. He tells her that he's gonna like travel around the world. Is he a photographer?
He is a photographer, I
Okay.
believe, for some magazine. I don't know which one. It might be National Geographic. He is a nature photographer or like journalistic photographer.
Yeah, I just didn't know if it was photography or if it was like filmography.
I believe it's photos because I believe he talks at one point about magazines.
Okay. So he's a photographer, and she's like, Dad, I so need a hot dog. And like, they're like, oh, the hot dogs in the dirty
water hot dog.
Dirty water.
Man, I love New York. I can't get hot dogs anywhere else.
Where else am I supposed to get my dirty water hot dogs?
I can't put the dirt in the water myself.
Kelly explains in her voiceover that her parents are divorced, but like it's chill, okay? They get along. Her dad is just kind of like clueless, goofy, and so she like kind of takes care of her dad a little bit. But her mom is like all business, and we see her on a business call.
Doing business.
And Kelly puts a camera right in her face as she's on the phone.
That's another good point in the favor of there being a decent amount of gap. She doesn't look like she's going to quit her job anytime soon. And
Does she quit her job later?
When she leaves.
Maybe she teleworks.
Yeah.
And
then she goes on maternity leave.
We are told like when she leaves that she's turning into like a housewife.
Damn.
Oh, because she's gonna learn to cook.
Yeah.
She does learn how to cook in the movie. Yeah. Conformity, you know?
Gender roles.
I really did not expect, with the way we're introduced to Kelly's parents, her to be as okay as she was with getting a step parent.
Yeah, no, you expect that to be the tension in the, because that's what all of these films are. And I mean, you can probably speak more to it as a child of divorce.
Thank you.
But having, getting into a step parent situation, like from media, all we see is people getting negative of that. You see the parent trap situation of trying to force people back together.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she says about her dad that he's divorced, alone, yet having a terrific time because he knows he has me, the light of his life. And I heard that and I was like, oh no.
Kelly, though, like, honestly, she takes everything in this movie in stride. Like, she adapts super well to pretty much everything.
Not always super quickly because, like, military school takes a while, but
she like, doesn't fight super hard against it. She just kind of goes.
She gives in.
Yeah, she gives in to like everything, and she's very go with the flow, which I don't know, maybe like that's an only child of divorce thing where she kind of had to grow up, especially with how clumsy and goofy her dad is, and she says like I need to kind of take care of him a little bit, that she kind of matured quicker, but also in the artsy way because she's very artsy.
I wonder if she would have taken the baby as well if she hadn't already been in military school and like learning to let go a little bit, because she also said she was the light of her mom's life. She said it about both her parents. And I was like, she's got only child syndrome. But she's
got it pretty hard too.
She's just like, great, I'm so excited to have a baby.
Yeah, she's very protective of the baby.
That might change when the baby's born.
Yeah. Okay, so then the general comes in and the mom is just all over him.
She like looks him up and down. She's like breathing hard.
Yeah. Oh, but sorry, before that happens, she like knocks over the fishbowl, which is so dumb.
I took down data about the fishbowl.
The freaking fishbowl.
Because Kelly backs up to get a wide shot of her parents for the film, of her mom and her bio dad. And there's a fishbowl full of goldfish. First of all, way too many goldfish in that tiny fishbowl.
So many.
In a tiny bowl.
And it's on a pedestal.
Like in the middle of the room.
It is so easy to bump into. Like, it is a terribly placed. Does not make any logical sense in the world of the movie.
And Kelly's like bouncing backwards toward it. Yeah. And her mom, for 5 full seconds, just yells, Kelly, no. Her and dad are like one step away from her,
They
and
can
they're
literally
both
just grab her hand
They just go,
and
no,
hold her.
No, they also could have said the fishbowl, but nothing.
But no one actually cares about the
Right.
fish or the glass.
What drives me crazy is she hits the fishbowl and they like step back and they watch the fishbowl tumble back and forth for like
7 full seconds.
Thank you for pulling up the math on this for us.
It took her 5 seconds to back up from the fishbowl.
just grab it.
At a weird backwards hop, you were only 5 seconds away from it. And you are standing there looking at it. You can get to it in 2 seconds.
You want to know how long 7 seconds is? That's 7 seconds.
Plenty of time to grab a freaking fishbowl. And then Kelly's all sad because it like breaks and there's fish everywhere. And the mom's like, you saved most of them. And she's like, I saved all of them, Mom.
Which is a weird interaction. Just why would the mom say most if she knows they've all been saved?
The mom's like, you just need to slow down. But Kelly's like, you can't slow down art, okay? So now the general comes in and they just like are all
They're
over
sucking
each
a
other.
lot of tongue.
Oh my god.
Well, I guess they are getting married.
Then Kelly is like, oh, look how in love my mom is. Takes her camera and physically puts the camera like in their face as they're making out. What? It's gross. Oh, and then she hits him in the face with the camera
Yeah.
and gives him a bloody nose.
She like almost breaks his nose.
Trying to zoom in on her mom making out with this guy. What? Too much. And then the mom announces that they're getting married, and Kelly's like, cool, you have my approval. And they're like, we didn't need your approval. And she's like, well, you have it anyway.
That is probably one of the better descriptions of Kelly in this era of the movie. It's just she overrates her own importance, but is mostly happy-go-lucky.
Well, and it's not until the very end of the movie that she stops saying, I have to do everything myself.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
really
yeah,
thinks-
that's the moral that they're trying to have this movie be about. Is
Yeah.
about you need to serve the team rather than the individual,
Yeah.
which I kind of disagree with that theme, but obviously it's a lesson that Kelly needed to learn. But just in a generic sense, I feel that we should be more expressive of individuality in society.
Yeah, it's kind of weird that I feel like the moral of this movie is don't be an individual.
Fit in.
Fit in and go to military
Do as you're
school.
told.
Okay. She says, although he's tough, like her mom really loves him. I think this is a quick wedding. And Kelly's like, what should I call you? Because like I already have a dad. And he's like, you can call me Joe or Sir. And she's like, Sir. I'll call you Sir. Mom and Sir.
Expert of divorced parents, how weird is Sir?
I went through a phase where I only called my bio dad sir.
Oh,
Really?
was that like a rebellious thing?
No, it was like a middle school thing. Like it just was, he liked it. He thought it was cute. I think sir is weird. When you could just call him Joe, and she does just call him Joe, like the one time she shouldn't.
Yeah. Yeah. Just I think that was rebellion. It was like, I hate this school, Joe. And Kelly's also like, you gotta learn to slouch a little bit to be in this family, sir.
And then mom straightens up instead, and I thought that was going to be a plot point, like mom's changing too much because of the new husband.
It's a DCOM. They don't have enough time to go into multidimensional parents.
They just dropped it.
Yeah.
You are lucky in a DCOM to get 2 multidimensional characters. Sometimes you get 0.
And then we get this scene where mom is tucking Kelly into bed, and she's like, don't worry, Kelly, I love you, and I love Sir, and this is going to be really good for us. All right, new day. We see mom and Sir talking, and they're like happy, and he's like, have you told Kelly yet? And she's like, no, but I will. So we know there's a time jump here. This is the day before the wedding, and mom has to tell Kelly something. So they're like at the store, they're getting the makeup, whatever. And Kelly is very happy for her mom that she's getting married. But then mom drops the bomb that Sir has a new job, one that he's wanted forever, and they're moving upstate. Not only are they moving, but she has to switch schools and go to the military school that he is the, what is it, commandant of this military school. Basically like the dean. Is that, yeah. Yeah. And also there's no hot dogs upstate. How is she going to eat hot dogs if she's not in New York?
I would like to point out that the hot dogs thing is basically immediately dropped right after this scene.
It was a setup and then delivery for over like the first 5 minutes.
You'd think it would be a running like theme of, and I miss my hot dogs. I miss New York. They never even go back to New York.
No.
They say they're going to go back to New York. They never go back to New York.
They don't, no.
And we should say city because I think it's
Yeah, they move upstate New York.
Yeah. Or like New York City.
Yeah, New York City.
I'm gonna gripe for a second about
Oh yes, because this movie sucks.
about how bad these parents are at giving Kelly news.
That was terrible.
Because why, in your ever-loving mind, mother, would you tell her when she's asking where you're moving, you would say somewhere without takeout? You're gonna upset her.
It's because she's nervous about having to cook because she doesn't subscribe to normal gender roles, but for Sir, she will.
I just want to put this here now that we know that Kelly's going to military school. This is an awful choice for the mom to make. Like, oh, yep, I'm going to put my daughter in military school after, like, she knows how creative she is.
You have to specially enroll in arts academies.
Mm-hmm.
You enrolled your child in an arts academy and then went, I think military school is right.
Do the opposite.
Like, go ahead and move if you want to move in with your new husband, but don't send your daughter to military school. What the hell is wrong with her? And there's no way this is a requirement for this guy to enroll his new stepdaughter. There's no way.
There maybe isn't another school in the area. That's the one thing I can think of.
And her dad travels, so he can't keep her.
The house they live in is on base. So
Yeah.
I get that it's so close, but it's not good.
She should
maybe if she rebelled harder than she did, she could have gotten somewhere else.
She should bus into a different school, or her mom drives her every day now that she's a freaking housewife. Apparently, she should go the extra mile to do right by her kid instead of just enrolling her into this military school, which is just an awful choice for her.
Side note: how is this financially wise decision for the family? I know it's a job he's wanted for his whole life, but we are led to believe that the mom who had a job as an editor is pretty high up in the business world.
Well, he didn't have a job, and when the mom says he has a job, Kelly's like, oh, good, because I was worried since he's an ex-general or whatever, he's not going to be able to get a job. So this is a way for him to make money, and gender roles. He needs to make the money, right?
Yeah, well, I think also the mom was affording a nice place to live in New York City.
That's true.
And she was having real business calls. So I worry about her being sad. But money-wise, maybe the only thing I can think is that he's getting free housing for being on base.
That is probably true.
That's a save.
It's a specific house for the commandant. The commandant.
Google tells me that the current annual salary for an average deputy commandant, I hope that's
commandant,
in New York right now is $65,000, which is not a crazy amount
in New York.
And
that's current year as well. That's 20 years before.
Ruh-roh.
20 years after.
Yeah. I mean, okay, this is 2000.
Maybe I might be looking at the wrong thing, though, because that's deputy commandant, which
he probably makes more than that, actually, because deputy is lower. He's just the commandant. So maybe 80.
Yeah, and you get free housing, assuming, It's probably a good gig.
Yeah. And we don't know how much the mom was making, but we do know that she lived in New York, had a editing job, and seemed high profile.
And could afford this artsy school
and
for her
could
daughter.
afford taking takeout every night.
Yeah. I mean, she probably also gets child support.
She probably does.
Yeah. But, okay. So now Kelly is packing up to go to military school, and her bestest friend, Amanda, is helping.
And truest.
And Amanda's like, promise that we're going to be best friends forever. We see Amanda one more time in the movie. But they want to hit home. Like, this is her best friend, okay?
Hey, remember, it's going to be important plot-wise.
Yeah.
An hour later.
They really want to make sure you know. And then they do the thing where it's like,
It's quite annoying. I did not like it.
Yes.
Me and my siblings loved to do that.
So then Kelly's like, I will not go. I refuse to go. But she's still packing up to go. And she packs her cute little rainbow blanket, right? Okay. Head to military school. We see some rifle spinning and not twirling.
Thank you.
Spinning and some army shit.
Now that we're in military school, I felt like that the New York plot stuff drags. I think it was the worst part of the movie, and I don't like this movie.
It went pretty fast though. Like we spent a lot of time talking about New York, but
I feel like it went longer than you think it did.
maybe
They took a whole 12 seconds to watch goldfish fall out of a bowl.
That's true. That drags.
It did. I love the opening shot on the academy though, because it is such a good parallel to the opening shot on the art school. It's a dance, the opening shot.
I mean,
of
yeah,
the
that
movie,
is enough. That is a time we're supposed to make through the
Yeah.
movie. Is that spinning guns is a dance.
And them like running and
I thought that the ribbon dancing was a flash mob because it was so unorganized and like so free, and they're all just jumping out from random places in
right.
this choreographed dance. And then you get to the the drill team, and they're doing the most uniform spinning you've ever seen in your life. So
Yeah.
I just like that parallel.
That's good. Okay, so Kelly goes to like the girls. I call it the bunk room.
Barracks.
It's the barracks.
The barracks.
Cool. The barracks, and everyone's like whispering about her, like, "Oh my god, who is she?"
Like they've never seen a human in street clothes in their life. Like they don't own street clothes.
For a while, when she like goes to bed and they wake up and they're doing all this, military stuff, she like wears her normal pajamas
Yep.
and no one else is.
Which is weird in one of two ways. Either everyone else should just be doing, like someone should be doing it, or B, they should tell her, why are you doing that? But I guess she was always trying to keep her individuality, so.
Yeah. She like pushed against it for a long time until she finally decided to conform. All right.
Morals.
So she goes to her bunk, and Carla is in the bunk next to her, and they talk. And Kelly's like, there's no art here. What the heck? Yeah, no art. And then some other girls come in, and they're complaining about Captain Stone, that she's like super tough and mean.
The meanest 16-year-old you ever did see.
Yeah. And they're like, Stone is probably going to go to the dance with Brad again. And Kelly goes, Brad? What's Brad? She's never heard the name Brad.
We were talking about it during this conversation while watching this movie about this is probably the worst dialogue in the movie.
What's a Brad?
Like, Kelly does not sound human in this exposition dump.
Yeah. No one really does. Brad is a cadet major who also goes to school here. And then Kelly pulls out her rainbow blanket, and Carla's like, that's not regulation. Kelly's like, I don't care. This is my rainbow blanket. I'm gonna have it. Okay. So then Jennifer Stone comes in, and everybody lines up because she's their captain, right? And Kelly doesn't line up. She's flattening out her blanket. Like, she is flattening out many times to smooth it out, I guess.
But also, Kelly was just dropped in here. Like, her stepdad did not prepare her for
Not
this
in the
at
slightest.
all.
Or if he did, she didn't listen.
Yeah, she walked in out of uniform. She has no idea what to do with all the other people. She's just living her life, and I don't blame her for it.
Yeah, so she's like smoothing out her blanket, and then Jennifer Stone comes and snatches it. She grabs it. And Kelly's like, how dare you? And Stone's like, oh, this is stupid.
She puts it on her foot.
She drops it on the floor and she smushes it with her foot. and then pushes it under the bed. And Kelly's like so appalled, but honestly, it's a blanket.
It's still
it might be
imagine
dirty.
imagine think theoretical sentimental value to that. We don't
Yeah.
get that assigned in there, but it also is not explicitly unsigned. There could be a lot of theoretical of that. I'm just saying this is the first interaction between these two characters who obviously hate each other through the majority of this movie, and they should. But especially I feel that Stone is the entire movie abusive.
Oh, she's on a power trip, and you would expect, with the way that we'll talk about at the end what happens, but you would expect her to get some sort of redemption arc, and she does not at all. We never learn. There's no like, I had a sad childhood,
Nope.
so that's why I'm mean
Nope.
like this.
No, there's literally nothing.
She's
It's
just
just
being-
Kelly gaining respect for her.
Yeah.
Which
But
is
that's-
another flaw of the movie, in my opinion.
Oh, and I guess she kind of like starts to like Kelly too a little bit, but like she never
only because
apologizes.
Kelly starts showing a little respect.
It's
Yeah.
very much framed as this is how
You
she
should
should be treated.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Is like the way Kelly's being treated this whole time is like Kelly's in the wrong right now, and she needs to conform to how military school is run.
Yeah.
and
and
like
then
I
in
get
the
she's
end, she
not gonna
does.
change military school, but also you don't have to have the person who's quote in the right in terms of how a military school should be run be calling her names, calling her maggot through the entire film, verbally assaulting her, taking her property and damaging it multiple times.
Yeah.
And yeah, punishing her with more tasks for being, unable to do certain physical activities.
Yeah. So Jennifer says, "You're on my list, maggot." And Kelly goes, "You'd be on mine if I had one." I thought that was funny.
Kelly wants to be rebellious, but the movie never gives her the chance, really.
Yeah. So this is when Kelly's like, "Some things are just going to have to change around here." And Carla's like, "You shouldn't cross Jennifer." And Kelly just hates it. She hates uniformity and she hates this military academy.
Have we had a look at Brad yet? Or
No,
No.
we have
Okay,
not.
good, because I have so much to say.
Oh, I think we might be in agreement on this one.
Okay, so it's a new day and they blow the little horn. The do-do-do-do-do. Kelly runs late to line up outside. She's wearing a little neck scarf
And
thing.
tons of bracelets.
Yep. And Carla's like, "Take that off." And Kelly stuffs all of the accessories in her hat. And then they like give the schedule and military time. And Kelly's confused because there's only 12 hours in a day.
What do they mean, 845 hours?
Yeah. And then Stone goes up to her and she's like, "You confused?" And Kelly's like, "Yeah, my watch only has 12 hours on it." And Stone's like, "You're stupid." And then they salute. And when Kelly salutes, all of the accessories just like spring out of her hat and they fly everywhere.
Yeah, you would think that if I put my hand up to salute and I hit the front of my hat, the accessories would fall backwards.
No, but there's so much pressure.
That they
It's literally just a
exploded in
bomb.
front of me.
It really doesn't make sense. I swear there's even like a boing like noise happening. Okay. But before so Jennifer's about to like just blow up on her, right? Because she's so mad. But Carla goes like, "Permission to speak. I volunteer to teach Kelly how to behave," basically. Like she kind of saves her skin of like, "I will take responsibility for teaching Kelly how the school works." Cool. So then Carla starts to teach Kelly what it's all about, and she's like, "You have to salute." And Kelly starts saluting everybody that walks by.
This is her trying to be funny, I think. Rather,
I don't know.
I don't know. It doesn't land. for
It
me.
was unserious.
Yeah. And then we see Jennifer like gearing up to talk to Brad. And this is when we see Brad for the first time.
All right, shall we have our Brad talk?
Kelly thinks he's really cute. And he's the cutest boy she's ever seen. He looks just like a rock star. And I would know because I've been this close to NSYNC.
So she says he looks just like a rock star. Cut to the most average looking white man I have ever seen in my
We are
entire
saying the
life.
same thing.
He is like, he's fine looking. He is not the cutest boy I've ever seen.
Also-
okay.
she compares rock stars to NSYNC. NSYNC is not a rock band.
That is a boy band.
That is
Really pop.
it's very definitively pop. And just throughout the whole movie, I never can trust Brad to be like they ship him with both Stone and Kelly.
Kind of.
It's like, I think it is a hypothetical love triangle that is needed to fuel the rage that Stone has toward Kelly.
But it also doesn't make sense because even if we believe them all at their ages, that's still at least a big enough gap between Kelly and Brad to be pretty weird.
A senior in high school absolutely should not date a middle schooler.
But
Yeah.
also, never really come close to dating. Like, they kind of flirt,
She,
but not
she
really.
flirts with him.
There's a few weird moments.
We'll
that
get
I
to them
have.
when we
Yeah.
get to them. But
Okay, we'll get there.
also, his actor is older than
Yeah.
what he's playing.
23 when the movie came out.
And that,
Yeah.
especially, it just means we're supposed to buy a lot of this stuff, and it does not work. And it just feels kind of icky.
Yeah. So back to the movie. We learned that there's a dance that everybody gets to go to. It's kind of like a homecoming dance, like a welcome back. There's a dance. So Jennifer is like, all right, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna like just casually bump into Brad and like, oh hey, you going to the dance? Haha. Like, she's trying to plan it out with Fred.
And she's talking to this friend who keeps calling her ma'am, which was so unsettling to me.
Ew.
Can you just have a friend?
No, she can't because she's Jennifer Stone. She's not allowed to have friends. Okay, so then Kelly sees that like Jennifer's gonna go walk up to them, so she starts walking towards Brad too. And then they do this whole like speed walk thing to try and get to Brad first, and Kelly wins. So Kelly just like steps right in front of Jennifer, in front of Brad, like she's in between them, and she just salutes. Right? And then Brad salutes back and walks away, and Jennifer did not get a chance to talk to him. So then Kelly just like turns around with a shit grin on her face and salutes Stone. And then Stone angrily salutes back and walks away. So like it was a good move on Kelly to
But,
like get at her, but also like not break any rules.
But also, I get that she doesn't like her and wants like to get mad at her. I guess it's maybe I'm just not thinking pettily enough.
It's a petty move. Yeah.
That's okay.
It's
I
a
can
petty
live with that.
revenge.
It's petty, but that's what it is.
Yeah, and then Kelly goes, I thought she'd be happy with how quick I'm learning. Yeah, it's just some petty shit, but I enjoyed it. I like it better than her painting her hair.
That was stupid.
Yeah, we'll get there. All right, so now we get this little like kind of section where Kelly is just being bad at military school. So she shows up late to class and everyone's standing and Kelly sits down, but then as soon as she stands up, everyone else sits down.
I think this would be a really funny, just generic prank to run on like a classmate of yours.
Yeah, if this wasn't just how military school worked, like they're all standing waiting for the teacher to come in. What if they were just like, let's prank the new kid and stand, and then when she stands back up, we'll sit. It'd be funny. Okay, so now they're like in a different class, and it's like history, and Kelly's like, I object to history.
Yeah, so in this, well, not cool. That's not how I saw it.
I was not paying attention to the specifics.
We'll see. So this class that we keep seeing her in a couple times throughout the movie when they do like montages or whatever.
Yeah.
They only ever really show the school in montages.
Yeah, they're covering different wars and like military maneuvers at different battles.
Yeah.
And she chooses this time to say, it would be dishonest of me if I didn't tell you now I'm a conscientious objector. And the whole class goes quiet and like leans into her. Because why would you, just in the middle of a lesson at military school, have to stand up and say, I personally would never go to war. I'm against it. That's what she did.
She doesn't belong here.
She's still rebelling against military school.
I think she's doing this on purpose because then she goes to another class and she's like, oops, I don't know how to do math because my own school didn't have
Well,
math.
I thought that was genuine.
Wouldn't it be so funny if she was faking that?
No, the way... I mean, I believe that her school didn't have math, but maybe it's just Hilary Duff's acting. I thought this was all a ploy to, like, fail out of military school.
Oh.
I don't think... it's not said to us in that way, so I can't believe it.
It's how much nuance do we think
Especially-
DCOMs have?
Yeah.
Especially she like cries about how much she hates military school after this.
Well, she was fully gonna tell her mom she wants to quit.
Yeah. So I think she would try that method
Yeah.
before trying to fail out.
Maybe.
I think she just doesn't know math because she never learned it.
Yeah. All right, so we go back to the barracks, and everyone's like showing off their dresses for the dance, and Kelly's looking at them, whatever. And Carla just kind of goes and sits back on her bed, sad. And Kelly can see that she's sad, and she goes to checks in on her, and she's like, "Let's go out for a walk." So they go out, and they see more of the guns, the
Spinning.
drill team, yeah, the spinning. And Kelly's like, "I believe in gun control. That's not safe. They have guns." And she's really like, military life just isn't for me. And then they run into Sir, and he's like, "Where you guys off to?" And Kelly's like, "We're gonna go and home to pick out some dresses." And then she's like, "Okay, bye, Joe." And
The only time.
the only time she calls him Joe. And Carla's like, "You can't talk to him like that." And Kelly's like, "Well, actually, I can."
She did like the little finger where you put your pointer fingers together. Oopsie. Guess what?
He's actually my stepdad, so I can talk to him like that.
Absolutely lawyer.
Yeah, so then they go to Kelly's house, which makes sense. It's like super close, it's on campus. So she's like, "Let's go for a walk." And then her and Carla are picking out dresses, and she's letting Carla pick out one of her dresses. And she's like, "You pick first." Like, she's being super nice to Carla.
Yes. But Carla does not want to pick first. She's like forcing Carla to do it.
Because Carla's like, she's never,
Yeah.
been in this situation. Like, she feels bad, She's like, "I don't know what I'm doing, but you're being so nice to me." Okay, and then her mom is there.
And her mom and Kelly end up choosing the dress for Carla anyway.
Yeah, they're like, "We're the blue one." And the mom is like really struggling with her apron. It is not on right.
Is it not?
It is like a purse.
Yeah,
She has it like over an arm.
she put like the head loop like through her arm. Oh my!
Which if you don't want to show a terrible cooking, I guess that's the only way you can really show it.
Without being in the kitchen,
Yeah,
and
that could be good characterization.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because
well, we don't get that.
later in the movie she puts it on correctly. So
That lets us know that
Wow.
she has become the housewife.
yeah. Okay, so then we transition from like the dresses into Kelly falling in the mud. This is some goop.
This is goop.
We
You
got
can't
goop.
argue about it.
It's
This
a-
is one of the most clear goopings. Mud is goop.
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 So they're running drills outside, and Kelly's really struggling. There's some nice like saxophone though music in the background. Like, we enjoyed that. Kelly's also like longingly looking at Brad.
We keep getting shots of Brad that are so unattractive because he's genuinely doing the running and jumping. So he's like got like a double chin at one point, and she's like,
Kelly's like, "Oh my god, he's so cute."
And we're supposed to just believe it.
Kelly's afraid of heights, and she gets like kind of stuck at the top of a wall. She doesn't want to propel down because she's scared.
But she climbed up, climbed.
Yeah, why can't she just climb down the way she climbed up?
yeah, I was thinking,
Especially
about-
later on.
Yeah. But everyone gets dismissed for the dance. But Kelly's still on the wall. So Stone comes over, and Kelly's like, "I want to order a salad from you." I don't know, it was weird. And then Stone's like, "No." So then Kelly starts to come down the wall very badly. She just kind of grabs onto the rope and just kind of falls a bit. And then Stone orders Kelly to do the course until she gets it right. And Sergeant Ramos will supervise. This is Gloria. She's going to supervise Kelly, and she's not allowed to go to the dance until she can get it right.
And Kelly does ask rightly, "Can you even do that?" Because that is a ridiculous punishment.
Stone is absolutely breaking several laws, I believe, in this movie. But of course, they're not going to do anything about it. They have
No.
their own legal system, which is fucked up.
That is a little fucked up. And also Stone says, like, what, are you gonna go to your stepdad
Yeah.
and complain? And Kelly just kind of like bites her tongue.
And Kelly had like just the scene before said, I'm not going to use my stepdad to like get advantage. This is between me and Stone.
Yeah.
But I do want to kind of play devil's advocate here because in the scene where she's on top of the wall, the first time Stone comes up to her, she has been so mean, dragging her by the ear across the course, calling her maggot just because she's looking at Brad. But when Kelly is stuck at the top of the wall, she honestly, her pep talk would have worked on me.
No, like it really wasn't that bad. It's just kind of like, get down here.
She was being
She was not
supportive.
She was not being mean.
She was like, no man gets left behind, right?
Yes, which parallels makes the squadron she's talking about. So she says, like, if you were somewhere scary and your team needed you, would you just sit up there? No, you would rappel down the wall because nobody gets left behind.
And I wonder if in the end of the movie she's gonna have to rappel down a wall to go save someone.
That would be so crazy. But it also mirrors the Lilo and Stitch moment her and her mom had when her mom said that they were moving because Kelly asked to stay behind. And her mom said, in this family, no one gets left behind. And then Stone says, basically, in the squadron, no one gets left behind. I'm like, wow, the squadron is family.
So deep.
That's why it's Lilo and Stitch.
Nobody gets left behind.
Nobody gets left behind. Yeah, you're right. Okay. So it's like it turns to fucking night. They've been here for hours running these drills. Kelly's running the drills over and over. And then it starts to rain. And Kelly's like, I'm gonna try and appeal to Gloria's.
Did we mention that Gloria's doing the drills?
Yeah, I mentioned it.
Okay.
Gloria's supervising her, and Kelly's like, I'm gonna try and appeal to her like human side. And she's like, don't you want to go to the dance? And Gloria's like, I don't care about the dance.
I don't like music.
Yeah, I don't like music. So then Kelly starts to make Gloria laugh a little bit, and then they talk about Gloria's home, or home country, right? I didn't catch where she's from.
I didn't write down. Started with a C.
Yeah, it was. I'm so sorry. I don't know.
Columbia.
It wasn't.
No.
I don't know where she's from.
Maybe it started with a P.
And then she starts to like actually give Kelly some good tips about how to get under the barbed wire.
I need to say something here.
Yeah.
Because Gloria has an accent.
Yeah.
Her actress does not have an accent.
Oh no. They made her
do an accent.
Oh my goodness. Okay.
Yay.
We can't just be American here, can we? Like, it's not like we're at an American military school or anything.
Other countries also want to serve our country. See?
Obviously.
You gotta remember, this is post 9/11 now.
Oh my goodness. So then they crawl under the wire together because Gloria's like, here, I'll show you how to do it, which is nice. And then it stops raining and Kelly did it. She gets to leave now.
My siblings and I army crawled so much.
Because of this movie?
This movie.
Oh my gosh. I never said this at the beginning of the episode, but I, like, didn't really watch this movie as a kid, and something about it just, like, really was off-putting me that I never wanted to watch it, and I think it was because it was about a military camp that I'm like, this does not interest me at all.
I have no memories of this one other than it ever being on, and I never intentionally watched it as a kid.
Yeah.
I don't think my sister really cared for it. Maybe she'll let me know after goes up that no, she really did care about this, but I don't remember her ever talking about it. And it's like, it's old enough that it wasn't a new thing when I was of age.
Yeah, I feel like this is a pretty popular one.
Oh, it is. It is one of the most popular. There 7.8 million people watched this on release. Probably because,
it's Hillary
Duff,
Oh.
and she was a big deal. But that's got to be one of the most watched DCOMs. Wait, I think I have that list right here. Yeah, that is the 8th most watched DCOM on release.
Wow. It's pretty impressive.
Highest was Cheetah Girls 2.
It was a big deal.
But I guarantee it was Hillary Duff. She was the reason it was
More
a big
people
deal.
watched it than the premiere of High School Musical.
That makes sense.
Nobody knew anybody in High School Musical.
Exactly. Everyone knew Hillary Duff from Lizzie McGuire.
And
Alright.
even Stevens was huge for Disney.
That's true. Also, even Steven. So you have these two stars from like their biggest shows. Yeah, it just makes sense. Okay, back to the movie. We get to see the dance is going on, and Kelly is like outside up on the top of the hill. She sees the building where the dance is going on, and she's still all muddy in her uniform. And then she like slips and somersaults and tumbles down the hill all the way through the door of the dance, where she keeps running and cannot stop, apparently. And
It is very unrealistic.
she runs into the middle of the dance floor where Jennifer Stone is, who's wearing a white dress, and they like slam into each other and cannot let go.
She goops her.
She goops her. It's
This
another
is a
goop.
second goop.
Yeah.
I have numbers again
Yeah.
for this part.
Tell me the logistics of this.
First of all, she falls down that hill and somehow, after all those somersaults, lands in a standing position
So she could definitely stop.
To start running through the door.
through the doors as though they're saloon doors. She runs after falling. She runs for 8 full seconds, just wildly flailing. And everyone just steps out of her way. And then she holds on to Jennifer Stone. Would you like to guess how many seconds she holds on to Jennifer Stone?
It's got to be more than the fish. It's got to be like 10 seconds.
It was 10 seconds. She just gripped that woman.
Yeah, later when you hear like, oh, you intentionally destroyed her property. Yeah, she did.
Yeah,
had
because
to.
like you're going to tell me that you running through the dance floor was an accident and you couldn't stop?
Well, and then
Just fall to the ground.
Yeah.
Then when Stone like pushed her off, she just went back to a perfect stand. She didn't fall at all.
Oh my gosh. And then everyone applauds Kelly.
So mean.
So mean.
I mean, Stone deserves it, but so mean.
yeah.
In this moment, are we supposed to be on Kelly's side? Because
Yes,
I
apparently.
feel so bad for Stone. If I were Kelly and I had just done that to someone else, I don't care how mean they've been to me. Once everyone around me starts applauding, I feel very, very bad.
And she does not.
I feel bad for her too.
I think I'm just talking about. I think she's an abuser, and I feel bad for her.
Even like Brad is amused, and Brad is just dancing with Jennifer.
I do not get the idea anywhere in this entire movie that Brad even sort of cares
For anyone.
about Jennifer.
He doesn't.
Because all we hear is like they went together last year and they're going to go together this year again. And he literally is so indifferent to her. Like,
Yeah, he
could
does
have
not care.
stopped earlier when she was going to ask him about the dance and Kelly got in front of her. He could fully see Jennifer. He could have stayed to talk to her.
He
You
didn't
got a
want
good
to.
point there.
He didn't want
Too. He took the opportunity to ditch.
Yeah, okay, so then we cut to Kelly talking to Sir because she's in trouble. He's like, I am not happy. And Kelly's like, me neither. Okay, there are people like throwing around rifles at this school.
That's so geeky. Who
And
could
he's
ever?
like, I used to throw around those rifles, okay? It's cool.
I like how that's her only complaint about the school. Even
Yeah.
though the entire movie has just been her complaining about the school.
Yeah. And then apparently Jennifer reported that Kelly destroyed her dress on purpose, which is her property.
Again, you can't look at that as anything but intentional.
Yeah. Also, teachers have complained about Kelly. And he's like, here at this academy, we believe in uniformity. And Kelly is just not about that at all. Sir is like, go home to your mother. And Kelly's upset and she tries to call her dad because she's sad, but he doesn't answer because he's out doing photography things, right?
Oh, can I add something that's going to be important later?
Yeah.
When she's talking to Sir,
Mm-hmm.
and is this when he... No, that's a court martial. When he's talking to Sir, and he says that he used to be one of the people on the drill team,
Yeah.
he says that they haven't won anything since the 70s when they got 3rd place.
Yes.
And since
They
then
haven't done as well as 3rd place.
Right, so they haven't placed.
When we go to the meet later, there's like 4 teams.
Yeah, in 30 years they haven't placed, and so that'll be important later.
Yeah, I think he mentions that later, but You just mention it now, and then I'll cut around.
Oh, I thought it was right then.
No,
I also thought it was. I also thought it was now.
I'm being bullied.
Hey, I'm with you. You can't say. Oh, you're saying Kelsey's bullying.
Yeah, Kelsey's
Okay.
bullying
I'm not
me.
bullying
No,
you.
because we're lovers. You would never do that.
It's after cadet court.
Lovers first, podcasters
I
second.
wrote it down. I wrote it down. It's after cadet court.
Sorry, it's after the court martial.
Oh man, this order really matters.
Benji and
It
I were
doesn't.
wrong.
I'll just.
You don't have to cut it. I'm not
No,
embarrassed.
No. I'm not gonna cut you saying it. I'm just gonna end it there and act like he did say it then. So not embarrass you.
Well, we got to make like passing references to the fact that you said it in the wrong space, such that like anyone that's deeply listening can understand.
Okay. So then Kelly goes home, and this is when Mom tells Kelly that she's pregnant.
Which they, first of all, they wanted to tell her, they were both there when they told her they were getting married. But when they're having a baby,
That's
they're
just
just
one of
like,
them.
I don't care.
And then the mom gives Kelly some new paint because she knows she loves art, but sent her to a military school anyway. And they also have the comment of like, the mom's like, don't worry, I won't love the baby more than you because I've loved you longer.
And this is what you got to know, that loving someone longer is equal to loving someone the same amount of time. It comes back.
Yeah, it does come back later. I didn't write it down initially because I'm like, that's weird, but it comes back later, so I need to mention it. Okay, so then Kelly was going to tell her mom that she wanted to quit.
But it's now like, well, my new objective is going to be bring a baby into this world by myself, give birth, and be a father.
Yeah, she's like, all right, I'm not going to stir trouble for the sake of the baby, okay? And then Sir comes in and he shakes hands with Kelly. And Kelly is like, damn, he just gave me a handshake. He's not ready to be a father. I need to help him, right? So this is like her new objective is make sure Sir is going to be a good father. Okay, so then back at school, it's a new morning. Kelly's blanket is poking out from under her pillow. And as Stone is like doing inspections or whatever of them in line, she sees the blanket poking out. Stone takes the blanket and starts ripping it into pieces. She reported Kelly for destruction of property and then fully destroys her property.
Yep.
And doesn't get in trouble for it.
Because they do their own martial law.
Eye for an eye. But to be fair, Kelly didn't really get in trouble for destroying her dress either.
She's literally going to cadet court for it.
No, that's
for
different.
The next thing.
Oh, okay.
Who's wrong now?
You're right. Okay. So Kelly's very sad. And that night she's complaining to Carla about how she destroyed her property, but Carla I guess not Carla. Everyone else just like shushes her. Like, shut up, we're trying to sleep, right? So then Kelly decides to sneak out of bed and grab the new paint that her mom gave her and goes into like Jennifer's where's Jennifer sleeping? I don't know if it's a different room.
Like a private room for the cadet captain.
Yeah. And we see Jennifer in bed, and then it like cuts to the next morning. So we know Kelly does something. I want to know. So what she does, she paints Jennifer's hair.
How did
right?
she not wake up?
How did she not wake up? Jennifer was on her back, and the paint's on the back of her head.
Rolled her over.
Rolled her over in her twin-sized bed. Somehow paints the back of her hair. I don't know. So the next morning, Jennifer walks out and everyone's laughing at her. And it's because she has this like just lines of paint on her hair.
It's the rainbow of her blanket.
And it's all dried on. It's like caked on.
Yeah,
there.
so her hair's like one big mat.
Yeah.
They later try and excuse this by saying she could wash it out, but isn't that shit usually toxic?
That did not look wash outable. Your hair's not alive. I'm not worried about the toxicity.
It could damage your hair.
It could damage your hair.
Probably really dry now. Okay, so we see more drills being done. Kelly gets stuck on the wall again. And Stone, like, waves her down, and Kelly propels much better this time. She's improving. But then Stone gives Kelly a court martial because she's like, I know it was you that painted my hair. And
I mean, it pretty clearly is.
yeah, so then Kelly has to appear in cadet court. And Sir has to give the punishment after the cadets have the trial. So the cadets decide if she's innocent or guilty. And then Sir will have to give the punishment.
Again, still feels quite weird that the legal decisions of this is just your peers. Feels like it's opening a lot of power.
They don't set the punishment, though. They just decide if you're guilty.
Yeah, but still, that matters a lot. Just imagine you get a majority of people who say, hey, any crimes that we commit are completely fine.
Yeah.
Boom, you are exonerated from any possible crime.
That's disgusting. So they're like at home talking about it right now. What do you say?
I was just gonna say that Brad, the most white bread person that's ever existed, with no personality, is on the court martial.
Yeah, it seems like a conflict of interest.
Yeah.
He knows both of these people who have
so
crushes
true.
on him.
He's openly dated.
So hot.
He's dated the complainant.
Yeah. Okay, so they're like at home talking about it, Sir and Mom, and Kelly's listening in on this. And Sir's concerned that this is all gonna like blow up in his face, his dream job is ruined, and it's all Kelly's fault. And the mom's like, oh, come on, one kid's gonna ruin this? And he's like, I didn't know that this one kid could cause so much problems. Like, really, like, this is all Kelly's fault. And Kelly hears all of this and is like crying, right? I would be crying.
It was pretty sad to hear.
And then the mom, like, Sir leaves and the mom sees that Kelly was listening and they hug. And then instead of being like, Kelly, it's okay, she's like, Kelly, you're gonna have to say you're sorry to the court.
And she should.
Yeah.
She did a mean action. But also, she's crying.
She's crying, and like, I'm just on the side that Kelly never should have been at this school in the first place.
She's being abused.
Yeah, and then the mom goes, maybe we shouldn't have come here. And Kelly goes, Mom, you never asked me if I wanted to come here. And then storms out crying. I'm like, yeah, fuck, you're right, Kelly. She never asked you what you wanted. And now she's like, oh, maybe this was a mistake. And Kelly's like, bitch, if you would have fucking asked me. Like, no fucking way it's a mistake. Like, I hate military school. I think the mom's awful. And now she's just the little housewife, the pregnant housewife, because she married this fucking military man and she's ruining her daughter's life. But it's okay, I guess. Oh. Okay, so now we're at cadet court. Stone is reading off all the offenses that Kelly has committed, and Brad is like kind of the judge guy, and he's like, hey, Jennifer, take off your hat and show us your hair. Show us the evidence. So she takes it off and everyone sees it, and Carla's like, it's just paint, it'll wash out.
I get being embarrassed about it because she has a crush on Brad.
Yeah.
And he is like goading her on about it, which is
you
not
need
kind.
to show it to be like, this is bad.
He's making fun of her, though.
Also, how long has she had that in her hair?
How is she not washed it out yet?
Do you do a court-martial the next day?
I don't know, maybe.
I don't know how this works.
It has to be at least 2 days after, because the next day is when, or is it that same day that she's like, your court-martial, and then it's the next day is the court-martial?
Either way, you didn't try to wash that out because Carla is saying that it's washable.
Yeah.
I think there's evidence to the contrary based on the time.
Yeah, okay. And then Kelly's like, there's no way I'm going to be guilty. It was a crime of passion. And then they find her guilty.
No one has ever been guilty in a crime of passion.
Yeah. And then they find her guilty. So then Sir sentences her to join the drill team.
As equipment manager.
Yeah. Well, he just says you're going to join the drill team. And she goes, what? I'm a solo artist. I'm not good on a team.
Which isn't what we've learned about her before.
Last the thing that we saw was her in a team.
Amanda was like, I never could have come up with this choreography without Kelly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she was doing that whole routine with her friends.
Yeah.
Yeah. But then Sir goes, no, being on the team would be an honor. You have to do the scut job, like the equipment shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Equipment manager is an important role of any team.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he's like, no, you don't get to be on the team. That would be an honor. This is a punishment.
The Minnesota Vikings equipment manager just retired after like 47 years of working.
Really?
Good for him.
They've only had 2 equipment managers in their team's history.
Crazy.
How much does the equipment manager make?
You looking for a job?
Probably a fair bit.
I am looking
If
for
you're
a
a
job.
professional football equipment manager.
Yeah.
Let me look this up.
This
You have it.
important.
Get your
segue.
kazoo. Play One Girl Revolution. Oh, wait. I'm a one girl revolution.
Well, there are multiple girls dancing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it looks like not actually that like a crazy amount. It's like 50,000.
For professional sports?
Yeah.
I'm already making 50,000 for not doing all that manual labor. So.
Brag.
Well, I guess the concept is you're a part of like it's a job where there's not many of them and people want it.
So we'll pay
But
you a
there's-
shit salary to have
But it's like
it.
you get to be a part of the team and you're with everyone, you know?
You get to watch every game, like there.
You
Yeah.
get to never be home with your family.
Hell yeah.
Huge win.
Huge. Okay, so Sir's like, being the equipment manager will teach you discipline. And then he's like, I was on the drill team once.
We got 3rd.
We got 3rd place. And we haven't done as well as 3rd place since I was on the team.
Yeah, he doesn't talk about being on the team much.
In the 1970s.
Damn. So basically, their school fucking sucks. They can't even get 3rd ever. And it was all because
It's been
of him.
32 years.
It was because he was on the team that they got 3rd. Okay, so then Kelly gets a call from her dad, and the dad's like, I can tell you're only pretending to be happy on your voicemail. And she's like, oh, I'm fine. And he's like, okay, I'm proud of you. Goodbye.
He trips and
He
falls
trips, yeah.
into like some water,
He's
which is an
clumsy.
off-screen gooping, so it does not count.
Yeah. And then he hangs up, and that's all we hear from the dad for now. All right, so new day. Kelly has started working for the drill team, and she's polishing some boots. And she's singing some silly little army songs about how much she hates Jennifer Stone. And Brad overhears this, and Kelly's all flustered because it's Brad, and he's the cutest guy.
I sure
in the
ever did
world.
lay my eyes on.
Yeah.
And he's openly flirting with her.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah. This is where it's like, no.
He says,
Uh-uh.
you make me laugh.
He does say that, yeah. He's like, you make me laugh, Cadet Kelly. And they say, Cadet Kelly. Oh my god, that's the name of the movie.
It's the name of the movie.
He's like, here's how you do a proper shoe shine. And he fucking spits on it.
Which, I'm just saying.
I'm saying you can't read this without mentioning the guise of flirtation.
Yeah.
Yeah, he like spits on it. And honestly, I'd be like, that's disgusting. But Kelly's like, oh my god. And like giving flirty eyes.
It's just he can do no wrong because he's so cute. When he is, it's just a little icky.
It feels icky. It does. And then Kelly starts to spit on the boots. And that's the end of the scene. But it feels wrong.
Well, the song she was singing was about Jennifer.
Yeah.
It was mean. And then Jennifer's like sort of boyfriend, her situationship comes in and is like, oh, that's so funny. Like, I'm fully convinced he also hates her guts.
I think he does.
It's probably true.
Maybe he just dates her to like not be on her bad
Maybe
side.
he's not actually that hot.
He's not.
It's just only Stone thinks he is, so she's the only one he can get. And then Kelly only cares about him because Stone does.
Maybe. All right, so now we're at drill practice, and Kelly's still cleaning the boots, and Sir comes in to watch, and they have a meet in 2 weeks, and he's like, we gotta win regionals, okay? Make me proud. And Kelly starts to watch them practice, and she's like impressed,
She's
right?
like, oh, I get it. It's dance.
It's
she
art.
should not be impressed, by the way.
Okay, tell me why.
Which expertise are you leaning on here?
This is my captain of the color guard expertise.
Mhm.
The moves that they're doing when Kelly says it's like Swan Lake are the literal most basic moves you can do. There's a move called a drop spin. It's the first move you learn, and it's just you flipping the gun over your hand. And they never even do it. They're doing like the half version where they flip it halfway up through the drop spin. And then at the part where it gets difficult, where you have to let go and flip it, instead they just catch it at the top. So they're only doing half of the most basic move. And that's what she's so impressed with.
It's hilarious.
I'm glad you have this expertise. I would not have caught
Yeah,
that.
I wouldn't have known. To me, it just looks like they're spinning guns. Yeah. All right, so then cut to Kelly talking to Carla. Carla like agrees to help Kelly clean all the shit. Just because she's a good friend, I guess. And then Carla explains that her home life is actually really rough and being here is pretty great because it's better than her home life.
Yay.
Cool. And then Kelly's like, "Do you want to stay over my place this weekend?" And Carla's like, "Yeah." So Kelly is so sweet towards Carla.
Oh, Kelly and Carla are a good friendship from
Yeah.
the moment that it begins. That's not a question. They're like the bestest and truest to each other.
Okay, so then cut to them cleaning the boots. Kelly sees Brad come in and she like runs over and she's like, "Brad, I need more spit from my boots."
They're flirting.
She's the only distance between their face is like where the boot is. They're like a sideways boot away from each
We
other.
should
And
also
their
say,
height difference.
Hillary Duff is not tall.
She's short. Yeah, she's the shortest one there.
And he
And
like
Brad's like-
spits down onto it.
Yeah, he spits down on it.
That's erotic.
Okay. So then Kelly's like, "You should rub my head because it's good luck or something."
Oh God.
Rub my
This is
head.
the movie you're trying to defend.
So embarrassing.
This is the same movie.
It's a good movie.
Is it?
We'll talk about it at the end. Okay. So then Jennifer's like, "Kelly, hand me my gun." She's mad about the flirting.
You say that and it makes it sound like the shooter.
She cocks the gun and just goes like, "Leave Brad alone." That would be a
Blows
better
her-
movie.
Blows her head up with a rifle, like point blank.
And the court martial says, "You're fine. Not guilty."
So then Kelly, like, once Jennifer and Brad leave, she starts trying to like spin the gun. And it doesn't go like super well, but then she like gets it at the end. I don't know.
That was the most realistic color code moment. Drill team moment, because when she tried to do like a little toss and she dropped that gun and ran in the opposite direction, I've done that 1,000 times, girl. I was like, yeah, this is a real scene where she's never touched one of them before.
Yeah. All right. So now it's a new day. Rahway High Drill Team comes in, and they're really good. I think this is just like a friendly,
Yeah.
like
It's like
a like a scrimmage or something. I don't know.
they're
don't
the
know
big
why.
bad evil.
They're not evil
They're
though.
not-
They're just good.
They're just good. Yeah.
They're good at.
They
what
actually
they
have
do.
no characterization.
And like Kelly, there's a moment where Kelly gives Jennifer like a replacement belt. I think this is Jennifer starting to come around. I don't know. It's a stepping stone.
It's just an interaction between the two of them where they don't actively despise each other,
Yeah.
which is rare.
And then the schools do some like drill stuff and they're like facing each other and they walk in between each other. I don't know what this is for. It's just like, hey, let's hang out and spin some guns, I guess.
It lasts a long time
It
in just
does.
watching this. More than you watch the competition.
Yeah. It lasts a long time.
I have drill team stuff to say.
Cool.
George Washington, their performance was not good. It was pretty much the same stuff as when we first saw them practicing. There was not a single toss the entire time, except for one that 4 people do at the end of the line where they all like are pitching their guns behind their shoulders. Nobody catches it at the same angle as anybody else. It's the sloppiest thing. And I think when we see the drill team stuff in this case and later in the competition, they do a trillion cuts to a trillion different
Because
angles.
they don't want you to see that they're actors who have only been doing this for like a month max. They are not professionals.
Yeah. I was like, you could have gotten a high school drill team to come and do this, and it would have been better.
Yeah.
This is pretty similar to how a lot of like sports movies are, where you have these actors playing athletic roles and they're just clearly not good at it. So the movies will always try and like cut around to make them like, oh no, this person's actually definitely good at this.
Yeah.
Yeah. Rawway though, on the other hand, they were a little better. They started out with a step routine, which is like very modern.
I'm guessing
feel like-
Rawway is actually people in drill teams.
It could be. They were pretty basic until that solo guy came out and they did the fancy toss to the solo guy where it like spun through the air towards him. And then the really impressive stuff that he does where he like went off and everyone was like, oh my gosh, that's so scary. How are we ever going to beat them? Remember that most basic move I told you about?
Mm-hmm.
It was that in double time. And then he does the world's sloppiest toss. It's like it almost went out of his hands. But it's fun when you are learning how to do color guard and you remind yourself when your toss is in the air, your hands are supposed to be at your side. They teach you to slap your thighs. And he throws it up, and then there's the world's loudest slap. His arms back up to catch it.
That's funny.
So even the like expert that everyone was so woo about is just the most basic things.
Yeah. And then like there's the two girls from Rahway that do their little slappy dance.
Yeah, it's called step.
That's fun.
It is fun.
Why is that military related?
Yeah, I have no idea.
Half of the stuff I'm like, I don't know if this is me not knowing things about guard or if this is me not knowing things about military school.
I don't know. Okay, so then after that little like friendly whatever, Stone starts yelling at the team that they fucking suck. She's like, we suck. I guess we can see now why they just can't even get third. Because apparently they suck. And Brad's like, shut up, Jennifer. We don't need more practice. What we need is some originality and inspiration. Like, we need some creativity. All right, you're all dismissed. And then it's just Kelly and Brad left. And Kelly starts doing a funny little dance with a gun and makes Brad laugh.
Because they are in love.
They're just being silly goofy. And Brad's like, what are you doing? And Kelly's like, I'm just trying to cheer you up. And he's like, do it again. That's an order. Dance for me.
You can tell me if I'm saying this wrong. The movie is leading us to believe that these two might have a future.
But that never actually happens.
Well, not in this movie, but I'm saying like beyond the scope of this movie.
I don't know.
They definitely allow flirtation. Like there has to be a love triangle to keep something constant to push the like antagonism between Stone and Kelly.
But I feel like them just not getting along would have been enough.
Yeah, honestly,
Brad didn't have to be in this movie at all.
No.
no, they butt heads enough as it is because Kelly just hates conformity.
And Stone is just abusing her.
Yeah. Okay. So Kelly's like, this is my to-do list. I need to keep my family together, shepherd a baby in the world, and win a medal for Brad. So these
For
are
Brad.
Not for her stepdad.
for Brad.
Not for herself.
For Brad. Okay, so now it's a new day and they're in the barracks. Gloria stops Kelly from like leaving for some reason. I don't know what's going on here. And then Kelly gives her like a rope bracelet and some stuff like from her country.
I think it's all stuff that Kelly's dad has given her from his travels across the world.
The dad does give a lot of stuff. Yeah. The bio dad.
So there's like a scarf and stuff out, and Kelly wants Gloria to train her a little more, and so she offers to give her like any one of her little treasures from somewhere else in the
have a
world.
trinket for private tutoring.
A box for so she offers her a trinket to teach her how to do drill.
Yep. And
Wait,
Gloria's
does
like,
Gloria know how to do drill?
she's on the drill team. Yeah.
'Cause I feel like we never really see her that much
She's
on
on
the
the drill team. let's assume she is. So then we get a little mini montage of Gloria training Kelly how to do drill stuff, and we learn that there's a section where you get quizzed about U.S. history and whatever
Military
shit.
stuff.
They scream it in your face, and then you have to answer the question.
There is one point in this montage where Kelly and Gloria get so close that because of the height difference, they're able to get so close that the bills of their cap are overlapping. So less than the bill of a cap away from each other. Are you trying to make me believe that's not homoerotic?
I honestly thought they might kiss.
I thought they might kiss.
It looks like it.
It's a better ship than Kelly and Brad, that's for sure.
And a better ship than Kelly and Jennifer.
Gloria is the queerest person in this movie, and I will continue to bring it up.
I'm trying to think if there's anyone that comes like, I'm not gonna say Amanda. I think Gloria is. I think you're right.
Yeah. Okay, so then Kelly's ready to try out for drill team. Hooray! Okay, so then we see Kelly trying out for a drill team, and she's doing pretty good. Stone is not impressed. Whatever. The next day, Kelly runs to see the list to see if she makes it, but before she can see the list, she gets summoned to go see Sir, and he's like, what the hell? You tried out for drill team without my consent or knowledge, and also you made it in. And Kelly's like, oh my god, I made it. And he's like, congratulations, I'm proud of you.
Just did a little scare tactic.
Yeah. And she's like, do we hug or salute or shake hands or something? And then he reaches out his hand to like shake hands. And Kelly doesn't take it. She's like, you know what, sir? You have some lessons to learn too, just like me. We have a baby to raise, sir.
Yes,
and
me as the mother and the father, you as someone else.
You need my help. Babies can't salute, okay? You have to be nicer to a baby.
And then she gives him that whole speech about how he needs to learn to be more affectionate and does not hug him.
I mean, that's just like, he's not ready to be hugged right now, okay?
It's just
But
weird.
at least give him the handshake.
Yeah.
At least, do some sort of physical contact on your way out.
Yeah, then she just kind of leaves. And she sees her drill uniform and she's very excited about it. So, cool.
Her drill uniform that was magically on top of all the other drill uniforms.
Yeah. It's new. They like just hung it up. Okay, so now it's like a new day. They're in that grassy mall area in the middle of campus. And Jennifer is just practicing some of her slappy dance sort of step. And Kelly starts to watch, and she starts to kind of do some slappy stuff too. Some moving and grooving. And they start like angry slap dancing at each other.
This is the funniest part to me of the entire movie. I think that Kelly knows that it's like weird and is just having fun with it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm choosing to believe that Jennifer Stone has no idea that this is like a joke and she's doing it in full sincerity. Like, I'm gonna
win this dance
girl.
battle.
Yeah.
They're literally just dance battling. There's no music actually being played.
No, they're just like slappy dancing towards each other, and Jennifer's angry about it, and Kelly's just in a silly, goofy mood.
It is probably the best part of the movie.
Yeah.
I can agree on that.
At one point, Jennifer does the funky chicken with the angriest look on her face that I have ever seen.
Yeah.
Dance battles are a good way to win me back over.
Yeah. And then so Brad shows up with others and they're watching, and then when they're done, he starts to like slow clap for them. And he's like, I want you to do that at regionals. And Stone's like, what? My solo? You're giving away my solo for this duet? And he's like, this is the spirit.
I like the energy.
Yeah, this is what we need to win, okay?
And I thought that was so ridiculous because it did not look good at all.
But it was so
I
goofy.
don't think it was the specific like dance that they were doing. I think it's the energy the two had against each other.
The intensity.
The tension.
Yeah, I guess
The non-sexual tension.
But it was so strange. Half of the dance was just them slapping their hands over their crotches in an X.
That's what modern dance is.
Hands on your knees. Hands on your knees.
Exactly what
Get funky with it.
It would have been pretty funny if they just play the cha-cha slide and do it just like in perfect unison.
Yeah.
That I would give full marks.
First place. All right. So now we're in history class again, and they're learning about like a marine rescue. And Kelly's like, oh, so advancing from the rear is a good thing. And he's like, yeah. Kelly's like, oh my gosh, military school can apply to real life.
Wow. It took
crazy.
me like a month in this school to figure that
It's
out.
been more than a month because I think her
Her
mom.
mom's so pregnant.
Yeah, it's been a while. Okay. Kelly tries to talk to Jennifer again, and she's trying to be nice. And Kelly's like, I have some ideas for the routine. And Jennifer's like, yeah, I'm sure you told Brad all about them. Like, Jennifer's not about it. But Kelly's like, no, I didn't, because you're my partner, okay? I work with you. So we need to come up with the routine together.
This is the only scene between the two where Stone is like, okay, I actually respect your choices.
No, at the end of the movie, too.
She's still mad about her leaving because they never explained that.
No. Then she gets over it, and the last scene they have together is like,
Yeah,
I
no, you're
like
right.
you. Yeah.
But like, I don't buy it, so I don't. Buy
Okay.
it.
Okay.
I didn't buy it either.
So now they're at home and they're doing dinner, and Mom is very pregnant, and Kelly's dad is here. He came back.
Yes, our bestest, most truest dad.
Dad got Kelly a present. It's a Brunei. It's some kind of dress.
It's from Brunei.
Oh, it's from Brunei. What? I was just writing down what I saw. At dinner, Dad talks about how he has an assignment to photograph some like rock climbing or whatever, and it's really close to here, so he gets to see Kelly do like the regional drill tournament thing. Cool. He's like, yeah, I just have to get some shots of the rock climbing in the morning, and then I'll be there.
And they synchronize their watches so that he knows that her 11 o'clock is also his 11 o'clock. So there's no chance that he'll be late on her time.
Because they're in the same state, which has the same time zone.
Yes, the synchronized watches is so important to me because when I watched it, I'm gonna have a Cartoon Network moment.
Okay.
Because in regular show, there's a song and they just go, "Don't look at our watches while we synchronize our watches." And I couldn't stop thinking of it.
Okay, so then cut to the day of regionals. They're getting off the bus. And Amanda is here to watch.
Remember, Amanda?
Kelly.
It's been like an hour without her.
Yeah, they did a little thing. And Kelly's like, oh my gosh, everybody, this is Amanda. She is my best and truest friend. Carla hears this and gets so hurt.
She does the long walk away.
Yeah,
where
she's
she's
like-
walking back to the bus, and she turns it back around 3 times.
Just like slumping away, looks back all sad, looks back again. Like, she is so hurt that Kelly has a best and truest friend that isn't her.
Carla, who has known Kelly for like at the absolute most 6 months.
Yeah, probably not. It's probably been like
Yeah.
4 months, and you can assume the mom was pregnant.
If they
for a
were
bit
such
before
good
she
of
found
friends,
out.
why didn't they know about Amanda's
You think
existence?
she would have talked about Amanda before? Yeah, my best friend Amanda. Like, does Carla think she's entitled to the best friend? Like, Kelly is Carla's best friend, but Carla's not Kelly's best friend, and that's okay.
Maybe she's hoarding best friends. I do that. Kelly and I are one in the same.
This is my best and truest friend Amanda. I feel like Carla should just have an understanding that Kelly came from New York City, where she had a life and
Before
hated
this.
military school, and she has a best and truest friend. And then it literally cuts to commercial because it fades out. So it's like, this is my best and truest friend Amanda. Carla's sad about it. Cut to commercial. Cut back. It's regionals. Like, we're just gonna put a pin in that. Okay. Inspection phase is beginning. Woohoo. They do their little like screening pop quiz questions in their face, right? And Kelly gets her questions right. And before she got it wrong of like who's the commander chief of the United States, wasn't that the question? It's
Yeah.
the president. And she didn't know that before. Probably because her art school. I mean, if they didn't have math, they probably didn't have like civics either.
They only did art.
And the military school only does U.S. government and war, so.
Someone else got the question, what is the U.S.
What are the stripes on the flag represent?
Yeah, and what are the U.S. Marines? What's the birth date of the Marines or something
Oh.
like that? That's way harder.
That is harder.
And then Kelly had to like demonstrate how you present a gun to someone above you.
Yeah, something like that. So Kelly gets her questions right, but then she notices that her dad isn't there. They get a perfect 10 across the board for the inspection phase, so they're doing really well.
No, they should not have. Here's the thing.
Why not?
The guy told her, as you were. When he walked up, was she freely looking around and doing whatever she wanted? No, she was at rest. He said, as you were, she's supposed to go back into rest. And instead, she's like looking at her watch, looking around
Yeah.
the room. You should not have gotten a perfect 10. Kelly just ruined it for you because he's 1 foot away from her.
No, he wasn't looking.
You got
anymore.
a good point there.
He wasn't looking. He wasn't looking.
It was so ridiculous.
Okay, so whatever. They get a perfect 10. And they're like, yay, we did it. And then Kelly's phone begins to ring. And it's her dad. He's supposed to be here. And she answers it, but the call drops, right? And everyone gets so pissed at Kelly that her phone went off and that she has it on her. And they're like, Kelly, if your phone went off during the inspection phase, we would have been in huge trouble.
He said disqualified, which seems harsh, but
I mean, it's military
They
shit.
also, this entire time, her dad's in mortal danger.
We don't know that yet.
We don't know that yet. He could just be a flake.
But that's not like him.
But that's not like him.
He's not like the other dads.
I was so nervous later when she is performing again that it was going to be like a Chekhov cell phone thing. And because they mentioned it, it was going to go off in her pocket later.
Yeah. I don't know. I just think they're a little too mad at Kelly right now because
for something that didn't happen.
Yeah, it literally didn't happen. It's already over. They're like, if that would have happened, it would have been bad. Like, well, it didn't. So maybe
she keeps
chill
the cell
out.
phone on her.
Well, yeah, but she's like,
she should have
"It's my
handed it to her
dad.
mom.
It's my dad. He would only call if it was like emergency. It's our lifeline. Like whatever. Something's wrong. And then she like everyone's still mad at her, and she turns to Carla and she's like, "I'm sorry." And then Carla goes, "Maybe your truest friend can help you out of this one."
That's so bitchy.
It's so bitchy. Carla has not been like this the entire movie.
No, Carla's been defending Kelly the whole time and helping her through military school. And the second Kelly's like, "I have another friend," Carla goes, "Go ask your bestest, truest friend for help, bitch."
Which also, she could have gone and asked for help from Amanda. Just be honest.
Yeah.
They don't talk. The only person she talks about this issue with is her stepdad.
Yeah. Well,
which is weird to me.
So Carla goes, "Maybe your truest friend can help you out." And Kelly goes, "Oh my gosh, Carla, I wasn't thinking when I said that. I'm sorry." Like, she immediately apologizes for it because she can see that she hurt Carla's feelings. But they all just storm off, mad at Kelly. And Kelly's all alone. So the next phase is starting in 10 minutes, and her dad still isn't here, and she tries to call him, but he's not answering. And then Sir, like, gives the team a pep talk, but notices that, like, Kelly is distracted. So he goes up to Kelly, and he's like, "Hey, you're going to be great." And she's like, "Mm-hmm." And he's like, "What's wrong?" And Kelly starts crying. And she's like, "I'm worried that my dad is hurt." And he's like, "Do you want to go look for him?" And she says, "No, sir. I want to stay here because, like, no one gets left behind, whatever. I'm here for my platoon.
Here for my team.
I'm here for my team." And he's like, "I know." But she's like, "I know something is wrong, though, with my dad." And he's like, "Well, then let's go." And she goes, "No, this is important." And he goes, "You also have a duty to your father. Let's go get him." And they leave.
And I fell in love with him.
Yeah, no, honestly, so good of him to, like, trust Kelly and know that something is actually wrong with his father.
Can I still point this out because it still bugs me a lot?
What?
Go and at least tell the mom.
Yeah, they never tell the mom.
He's like, the squad can cut down to 3 instead of 4.
That seems hard.
And he doesn't even go tell them. They only find out when Brad asks Jennifer, "Is everyone here?" And she's like, "Guess who's not here?"
Like, I would get if you're feeling like, oh, we gotta rush out of here. Well, they were right there.
Like, you're not going to tell them they have to cut down to 3?
Nope, they just leave.
And then later, I was so shocked when the mom's like, "Where's Kelly?" You didn't tell your wife?
Yeah, it
And, like,
doesn't
her
make
ex-husband
sense.
is, like, in peril. The
She's
father
the
of
one-
her daughter?
She's the one over everyone else who should go. Is
Yeah.
that weird?
No, you're right.
Because I feel like she's the
She's
one
pregnant.
That's true.
that she is
She's
pregnant.
very pregnant.
Thank
Okay,
you.
Amanda.
Amanda should go save Kelly's father.
Amanda and Carla, go bond.
My bestest, truest friend. Go save my dad.
My best is true is dad.
Okay, so this is when Brad is like, "Hey Jen, is everyone accounted for?" And she starts like finger counting,
Like you don't
One,
notice.
2, 3, 4. Shit, Kelly's missing.
Once a maggot, always a maggot.
Once a maggot, always a maggot.
Maggot's a mean term.
It is mean. All right, so then Kelly and Sir show up in the woods where the dad's supposed to be, and they look around, they find his camera bag, and then they look over the cliff and they see him like passed out on like kind of a ledge that's pretty far down.
Yeah, luckily he didn't fall to the next level, which that fall would have killed him.
Yeah. So he must have fallen because he's so clumsy.
But if he was photographing rock climbers, where are they?
I think it was like, all right, guys, that's a wrap. Let me put away my camera. Whoa.
He would too.
He would, because he's an idiot.
Yeah, every scene of him, other than the one where he, locks pinkies with Hilary Duff and says, I'm going to be there on time. Every other scene of him is him falling.
Yeah. Okay, there's no blood or anything. He should have hit his head or some body part so hard. He should be bleeding. He should have broken limbs.
This is not a PG-13 movie like Prom Pact.
Yeah. All right, so then Sir calls in help, and Kelly's like, I'm going to go rappel down because he can't be alone. I need to make sure he's okay. And Sir's like, let me do it. And Kelly's like, no, you're too heavy. I won't be able to lift you back up. Which, why not just, like, have him propel down and then wait for the help to come?
They could also go
lift him up?
further down.
Yeah.
There was flat ground under.
I don't know. Okay, whatever. It has to be her. And she's like, it's okay. I'm trained to do it. So she gears up and she goes down. And we also see, like, the meat is still happening, whatever. And then she gets down and the rope is too short, which apparently, it said this in IMDb, when she throws the rope down, it is long enough.
I thought it was.
And then she starts propelling and it's short. So I don't know. The rope is too short, so she just like drops down.
In slow-mo. In like the blurriest slow-mo you've ever seen.
She's like broken her ankle or something the way. And like the dad is taking up like the whole area pretty much. And she somehow avoids landing on him. And
Avoids falling further down.
Avoids falling further down and lands perfectly fine. No twist of her ankle or anything. What?
It's so unlike her character.
Why? Why not just have the rope be long enough? Why was this a choice the movie
She
made?
had to make the daring decision to face her height fears, even though she already was.
Yeah.
I don't know. Okay, so then the dad wakes up and they hug and he's saved. And then they get back up and Sir gives her a hug and she's like, oh my god, Sir is ready to have a baby now because he hugged me.
Yep, that's the only thing.
And Kelly's like, this is my dad and my dad. I have 2 dads and they're both great.
And they're both gay.
Not gay.
When she said it, it's like, I have 2 gay dads. Like, that's not what's happening, but yeah. And so she's like, yeah, I have 2 dads and they're both great. And then Sir goes, Kelly, you can also have 2 best friends.
Wow. So true, sir.
True, sir. They really just like developed this plot point in the last like 15 minutes of the movie of Kelly having like 2 friends.
Again, we have not seen Amanda for an hour, and she's also not in these like last scenes.
And also, okay, the way he says this to Kelly, where he's like, Kelly, you can have 2 best friends too, as if Kelly has been like, Carla's not my true friend. I only have one truest bestest friend. Like, Kelly immediately apologized to Carla.
Also, how does he... I think maybe they talked in the car on the way there.
Oh yeah, Carla's mad at me because I said Amanda's my best truest friend.
I just assumed that he was like off screen listening when they were having that fight about Kelly's cell phone.
Not a lesson that Kelly needs to learn. She just like made a mistake. Obviously, she loves Carla and is her best friend too. She just had like a slip of the tongue because she was so excited to see Amanda, her best truest friend.
We really are getting a lot of mileage out of the best and
I
truest.
think it's funny. Okay. So then they make it back to regionals and everyone's mad that Kelly's not there, but then they show up and Kelly's with Sir and he's in charge. So he's like, Kelly is excused from the regulation phase.
Which I have a problem with. Like, not with a problem of him saying that. Obviously, she should be excused. Her dad was literally passed out on a cliff's edge.
They could explain that at all to any of
That's
these
what
kids.
I'm
Don't-
saying.
They never explain it.
Imagine being on her team and now you just think she gets a pass because her daddy is the.
Yeah.
And they're like, okay, guess we can't be mad at you because daddy says you're fine. Like, okay.
Just say what was going on.
A family emergency.
It literally never happens. They shouldn't accept her.
No. I would bully her.
Okay, so Kelly's like, let's win, and they all forgive her immediately, except for maybe Carla. And then Kelly goes up to Carla, and she goes, it's not that I like Amanda better. I just liked her longer. I'm sorry. Friends.
So she stole mom's baby line.
Yeah, like, I just liked her longer. I still like you.
Just less long.
Yeah.
The way the mom was saying it to Kelly was like, I'm not going to love the baby more than you. I'm always going to love you, like, maybe a little bit more because I've loved you longer.
Mhm.
And Kelly's like, I love Amanda longer, so she's always going to be my number one.
The way she said it really made it sound like you need to understand that she is my best and truest friend.
But I still like you too. Are we friends? And Carla goes, yeah. And then they hug.
And that's their relationship.
I expected Carla to go, best friends.
With best and truest friends.
But she didn't.
They didn't. This whole plot point is so dumb.
Falsest and worstest friend.
That's what you and I are, Benji.
False.
When we're not lovers.
First podcaster. No,
we're
first
lovers.
Second podcaster. First worst and falsest friend.
Yeah.
Okay, so now it's time for the Jennifer and Kelly duet. And they do their little slappy, groovy dance routine. And there's like, the editing is insane.
It's dizzying. They do this slappy dancey routine, obviously to no music in real life, but they do it to One Girl Revolution from the beginning of the movie. Give me the kazoo.
So, you want the kazoo? I can get it for you.
There are two girls. I want to keep pointing this out.
Two girls for the One Girl Revolution. Okay, also the editing, it looks like you're playing this on a DVD and it's skipping.
Yes.
It's
Yeah.
awful. I hate it.
It's because they don't know how to
It
dance.
gives me a headache. Okay. In my notes, I said, it looks so silly. Look at their little lesbian spins and longing looks at each other. There's tension.
There is tension there. I want to say the wraparound back to One Girl Revolution
Uh-huh.
begs the question, is Kelly a One Girl Revolution?
No.
Has she succeeded
She's
in
done
what she
nothing.
wanted?
She's
No.
the only thing she did was make her stepdad be a little more okay with physical contact.
And she brought ribbons to
Oh,
this
she did
competition.
bring ribbons.
Okay, actually, you're right. That's a complete
I was
revolution.
like, is this allowed?
They have ribbons.
It is. Kelly really kind of pulled a pitch perfect with like coming in and saving the performance team at this school that she just joined.
Mhm.
It's
Yeah.
exactly pitch perfect.
Yeah.
Pitch Perfect ripped off Cadet Kelly, but did it much better.
They're like, we're gonna do the same thing we've always done with these dumb little half spins. And Kelly was like, no.
I mean, this is one of the
Ribbons.
3 DCOM plots there are.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. All right. So we're heading towards the end of the movie now. It's time to announce the winner. And they're like, I've never seen a better regional or a closer one. By 1 point, Rahway wins the gold.
Good.
Good.
we were cheering for them the whole time.
If they had come in with not even placing in the past 30 years and then scooped out first place,
I mean, as a sports movie fan, that's going to happen.
that's
in
what
most
Pitch
of the
Perfect did.
No, this is a classic Bring It On. except Bring It On did it better because they worked from the bottom up with a brand new routine and got second place and was stoked about it.
Yeah.
Because they were like, the odds were against them, right? And Bring It On. They're like, hell yeah, we got second place after we probably should have just lost. We shouldn't even be here right now. We got second place. And like George Washington, whatever academy, get second place and is devastated that they got second place. Like, dude,
They're like, we'll get them next year.
you guys suck at this. You haven't gotten even third in like 30 years. And you're mad you didn't win first place. Take your silver medal and go home with
Be happy.
Be happy. Jesus Christ.
And they even have another chance because this is not nationals, and they
Yeah.
qualified for nationals.
Literally, Brad's like, we're still going to nationals though. Like, dude, yeah, you're going to nationals. That's awesome. They should be way happier than they are. And Kelly's like, this is all my fault. And Stone goes, you're right. It is your fault. If you never joined the team, we never would have made it this far.
This is her redemption arc
Wow.
in full. This is the only bit.
Yeah.
Yep.
And it doesn't make sense.
And then Kelly hugs her and she's like, next year we'll be even better together. And Jennifer's like, actually, I'm moving to Europe next year.
Bye.
But I want you to become, I wrote Splatoon leader. Splatoon leader. So that you can deal with little maggots just like you.
That line makes me, and the way Kelly receives that line as like a laughter thing really cements this is exactly how a platoon leader should teach their charges.
Which
Yeah.
is not true.
No, it's
She's
awful.
being abusive. That's never good.
No, military school just kind of sucks. Like, at least the way they show it. I do not want to go to
I
military
am
school.
so glad I never got sent to military school.
Oh my god, I'm so happy I went to this awful public school.
It wasn't awful. It was fine.
It was fine. It was fine. Okay, so they do more like drill walking stuff. And Kelly voices over and she's like, yep, that's my life. Like, that's my memoir. The end. That's like pretty much it.
It fades to black over a freeze frame of her giving a salute. Which is so good.
Iconic.
I didn't like this movie.
Okay, well, that's a bad opinion. What didn't you like about this movie?
I mean, there's a lot of stuff to it. The first thing, and this is the most important thing for a DCOM, I was bored the majority of the watching time. That's the problem with it for me over everything else.
There is a lot of drill team, which I feel like if I wasn't trying to analyze the drill team the whole time, I would have been bored through those
Yeah.
parts. As a kid, it's fun because you were like seeing a lot of spinning.
Mm-hmm.
As an adult, I wanted to puke with all the cuts that they were doing. The cinematography was so insane. So I guess I can see you being bored.
The ickiness with the relationship with Brad turns it from just like, you're like, I don't really enjoy watching this, to like, oh, I actively dislike those parts of it, because that never went away for me. That I never really felt comfortable with any of those scenes, and that's the actively bad. The things that it does possibly is there are some funny moments in this. I don't think there's any performance that's actively well here, but there's some stuff that I found funny. I find the whole Carla fight at the end really funny to me because it's just so random.
So dumb.
And them slap dancing with each other really angrily is quite funny.
It was so funny.
But the majority of the movie and like all of her own internal struggles, I just could not care about.
She was a pushover the entire movie. It was a movie where I feel like we were
Supposed to see her rebel.
Yes, there was a lot of potential for person versus self conflict that they just squished down.
I don't like that the lesson is you should just conform.
Yeah.
That is the moral of the
and
movie.
military good. Like
This is
don't
military
like that.
propaganda.
I don't like it.
I don't like that either. I feel like if there was not a nostalgia portion for it, if I had come in here like you two had and not had any real memory of the movie, do I think I would put it in even B tier? Probably not.
Yeah, no, I think you just like the nostalgia, which is a very valid thing to like about a movie. It's like, oh, I love this
It's impossible to remove those biases, you know?
Yeah.
I'm also a sucker for a family plot line. I will cry anytime there's any sort of family plot line. And seeing her stepdad like be jealous of her relationship with her regular dad. He was like giving longing looks when her
Mhm.
dad and her were hanging out. And then
Uh-huh.
at the end, he like kisses her head so tenderly. That's incredible to me.
Yeah. Like I can see some things to like about this movie. Like I don't hate it as much as Benji does, but there's so much hype around it.
It is.
And I'm like, for why?
It is like for people that talk about DCOMs just generically, it is one that a lot of people will hype up.
Yep.
If you talk about Hilary Duff, people will hype up this movie. And I mean, I'm guessing these are people who saw it once as a child, liked it then, and have not seen it since.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense to me. I wish we got more Gloria.
Gloria,
Yeah,
yeah.
Gloria was great. I really enjoyed Gloria in the movie. And she was so fun. She was sweet.
Yeah.
I liked her and Kelly's connection.
At the competition, really all we got off of her was nothing. Like after she trained Kelly, all we get is like during the slap fight, she gives she gets 3 seconds where the camera just focuses on her smiling out at the two of them.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's gay. She's like looking at Kelly in the most romantic way. But other than that, like nothing happens with her for the entire rest of the movie.
Yeah. Just, like, it's kind of weird too that the beginning, like honestly, 2/3 of the movie is I hate military school. I'm trying to defy it. Like this isn't me. And then it turns into like the drill team, and that's like literally the rest.
We
of
don't
the
even talk
movie.
about the school.
No, there's nothing about the school anymore. It's just like drill team, drill team, drill team. That's the end of the movie.
Yeah.
That's kind of weird to transition to that.
Yeah. It feels like the movie wanted to be a drill team movie the entire time and only could find this pathway to get there. And I feel like it's a bad pathway to make a drill team movie.
I think especially in the first half of the movie, there is so much potential to branch off into
This
minor
movie could have
plot
been
lines.
a lot better if it was more developed. I
Yeah.
can agree with that.
I think that there was a lot of potential in this movie that they kind of squashed into, we're focusing on this one thing.
Yeah. All right, so final Jank House ranking was 106.
Which is quite low.
That is bad. Benji, you also have that 106. You just left it there.
I
I
will
had
say-
it higher.
I will say this. Rewatching it, I wouldn't move it up far, but maybe up a little.
Yeah.
There are more elements of it that I remember, and I'm like, that part's funny and stuff like that. But it's still the point of the majority of the movie I felt was boring, and more parts of it that weren't boring, I felt were actively bad and in an icky way where I didn't like it.
Yeah. I have it at 72. So I have it higher. Oh, I actually have it in C tier. I might actually move it down to like D tier.
Whoa.
Yeah.
I think I've won the argument.
I'm gonna leave it in my hypothetical B tier.
Yeah.
I feel like I'll get
theoretical list.
I feel like I'll get in real trouble if I say I'm putting it in my A tier. I'm not gonna do that here.
You haven't seen that many, I don't think.
No, I have not.
Oh.
You just gotta watch them all.
You gotta watch them all.
And they're all in my A tier right now. Every single DCOM I've
You
ever
don't even
seen.
have an S tier. You just have an A tier. You're saving your S tier for something real special. Okay.
Yeah, for the zombies movies.
Thanks. Obviously. Also, okay, going back to your mom's letter, for the record, Tammy, I wanted to put Prom Pack below zombies, and everyone argued out of it. So it's fine.
Speaking of fan mail, if you'd like to send us fan mail, please do. We love receiving it.
Yeah.
Email us at thedcomduo@gmail.com.
We also have a TikTok where we have clips from the episodes. So check us out there. They're a good time.
_decom_duo no.
No. Yeah, just enter. Yeah. And then
Alex, anything you want to shout out? Anything you want the masses to know about?
Nope, don't want the masses to know anything about me. All my social media is private. But I appreciate being here. It's been fun.
yeah, thank you for coming on. This was a good time.
I'll come back. The audience will demand it.
Yay!
Do you have a movie you want to reserve right now?
Is Camp Rock 2?
I don't know.
I think it is March. I think it's March with Bay.
Is it? Does she actually want the
I
second
feel like
one?
Bay asked for both.
Did she want
I
both?
thought Bay
We'll
asked.
check in with Bay if she wants
It is
both.
marked. It is marked.
I also
for her.
liked Twitches.
Do we have anyone for
No one
Twitches?
is on Twitches.
Come for Twitches.
I think Amanda and I were talking about doing Twitches together. Do you recall?
Oh, we can get both of you on?
Perhaps.
That would be fun.
Quattro.
Yeah. I loved Twitches as a kid, so that's a good one. Okay. Let's spin the wheel to see what we're watching next.
Oh, what's your guess, Benji?
My prediction is gonna be Cloud 9.
That was my birthday movie. I'm gonna say Princess Protection Program.
That movie's bad.
I saw it was in your F tier.
Spoiler
Yeah.
alert. Spoiler alert.
I'm gonna guess Let It Shine because I accidentally called Raise Your Voice Let It Shine in the beginning, and there has to be a reason.
It's destiny.
All right, you're in the dollar bet, by the way.
Yeah, let's go.
Okay.
It's Girl versus Monster.
Girl versus Monster. Another Halloween one.
That's another
We're getting
Halloween
through,
one.
But another one that like it's Halloween, but not super.
Yeah, this one I'm fine watching outside of October. I can't say that about every Halloween one because I'm like, one needs to go in October. Like probably Halloween Town. I
Girl
feel that way.
versus Monster. That's one.
It's musical.
Yeah,
It's musical. Yay!
it is one that we'll talk about it then. But there is a lot wrong with that movie, but it gets a couple things really right. And that's enough potentially. It also features Kelsey's biggest DCOM crush.
Luke Benward.
I have never seen Girl vs. Monster, so I will tune in and leave some comments on your Spotify once it's posted.
Yay! Oh yeah, you can comment on our Spotify as well.
And our YouTube. We post episodes on
And
YouTube.
You can try on Apple. That
I don't
would be
think
kind of
Apple-
funny.
I don't think Apple does
Just
that.
like write an email to Apple.
Yeah.
Not to us, but to Apple.
Thank you guys for listening. If you made it this far, I know this is a longer one, but it's because we have a guest and we're having a good time.
And I'm hungry.
I'm hungry now too.
Yeah, let's go get dinner.
Yeah. All right. Take care, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
Scenes from our next episode.
Did she fall down another set of stairs?
What is fear? What does that even mean to be afraid? I don't have that.
How do you misspell one word in 5 different ways?
You had me at hello.
That song's not actually that
You
good.
had me at hello.
Kelsey, stop stimping.
That's Luke Benward, baby.
How can I compete?